to the sound. To the sound. To the sound. To the sound.
All right, welcome to the second Content Creator Summit that we've had. The first one was kind of a while back, if you remember, where we all kind of got together to discuss certain things that were going on in the community at the time. Granted, our community is a little bit more loose than it once was, and I'm quite okay with that. Most of us have been going on to do other things. We all have our own channels. But there's still a commonality that binds us all, and that happens to be three of content creators that are on YouTube that have a long history of spreading misinformation and basically making up drama for content. And so the last time we all got together to talk about them, our decision was basically just ignore them as much as possible, which did work for a little while. Unfortunately, new things have developed where these content creators are going I'd say much harder than usual. There's some things that are coming back around. And of course, there's other things in the news relating to one of the content creators being sued. Actually, two of them being sued. So it's kind of funny that two of the content creators are being sued for defamation. Hence, there's a reasons why they are known as disinformation agents. Anyways, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be going over some things about what I believe are reasons how they get away with lying about people. I'd like to ask the community to kind of maybe give us some ideas of how we can maybe fix that, or at least, help prevent them from doing this to other people. Long story short, one of the content creators, UniRock, messed up royally by overplaying his LARP, I guess, so to speak, and decided to lie to a different community out there, which they call the Hive. I've talked to them a little bit. Erin's talked to them a little bit. They seem like reasonable people, and they basically called Uni out for lying. And they were absolutely right. Uni absolutely did lie. It's called Lettergate. If you guys want to check into it, we can discuss it a little bit. But long story short, he was caught red-handed doing his shtick. And so his channel's kind of in free fall for that. But I still don't think it's enough to prevent him from cockroaching away where he can go find another community to do the same thing to. So what I want to do is have a little content creator meeting where if he ever goes to another community, if these purveyors of misinformation decide to continue on defaming people, and especially the most heinous things they have said about people, which is just, I don't want to go to the details of something they've said unless you guys really, really want to. But it's pretty egregious. It's pretty egregious. And so this video will stand as a standalone video where people can just go watch it. And if it ever comes up, these three say anything about anything, they just go, hey, go watch this video. And then underneath in the video description, I'll also have Erin's playlist of videos that you can go watch, and Veda's, and anybody else as a content creator that wants to come on and talk about how these people have defamed them. And or if you have any questions, if you are a subscriber, if you're a member, if you're a moderator to any of them three and you've moved on or you wish to get the actual facts, we will provide that for you. A lot of people were misled by these people for quite some time, myself included originally. I'm not walking away from that. I take full responsibility for that. I learned really quickly, though. And that's how we know that people are honest. Once you find out somebody is lying to you to the extent that UniRock does, you move away from them. And that's exactly what I did. People remember that. I stepped away from him because once I found out he was toxic and he was lying to his subscribers, and this was several years ago, I moved on. And I think a lot of people remember that very vividly. Some people stuck around because they didn't see it themselves. I get that. But the next time it happened, a lot of them left, and respect to them. But there are a few people obviously left, the mods that he has left, the people that he has left, either A, they do not care about the truth, or B, they're just there for entertainment and they like to see people get harmed. That's the only really two explanations. But anyways, I got Erin here now. If you want to join, let me know. I will probably put the link in the video live chat, but I'm hit or miss on that right now. I kind of like to get to some people directly into here if they want to. But anyways, I'm going to bring Erin on now. Erin, welcome.
Hi. Sorry, I was just finishing up my makeup.
You're off camera.
And yeah, I'll turn it right back on in just a minute.
All right. Yeah, the only reason I ran on camera because she did, and I'm like, man, I'm going to go on camera if she will.
No, I'm fine.
All right, so what do you got? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my introduction to this particular video. I think it's a pretty fair assessment of what we've been through with these three creators. I am calling them the Unholy Trinity of Misinformation because that's exactly what they are. I don't know which one you really want to specifically talk about, but I think overall we can generalize the methods they use in order to facilitate their misinformation. I just realized I have the chat going over something I put on my my video here. I'm going to fix that in a second. But what would you like to add to that?
Pretty much, like, I heard what you said and everything about how you were misled by them and everything, and and once you realize just how devious or whatever, how untruthful Uni was, then you kind of distanced yourself from him. I wanted the part that I want to focus on more than anything is, from my perspective anyways, is how we're watching the same kind of behaviors and the same kind of cycle happening right now in real time with nonsense. A lot of people are buying into her shit. But the thing is that she's doing all the circle talk, just like Uni. She's not saying anything at all with all of her fucking word salad and everything. She's making a lot of crazy claims and no proof, but saying that she'll show proof whenever, I'll show you later. If anyone wants to see it, just tell me, or go check out my Facebook page. It's somewhere on my Facebook page, It's the same shit the Unirock has done. And people fall for it for some reason. And that's where I'm at in this whole journey right now and what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, let's talk about why they fall for it. In the video description, I've listed there she is. Make up some point. I think that there's specific things that all three of them use, and one of them is I put a letter I on my thing here. If you can read at the bottom there, but basically it's vagueness of details, and I think that you're right on point when it comes to nonsense. She's just throwing out things that have no actuality to them whatsoever, so she has to remain vague. For example, she uses the pronoun they a lot, right? They is supposed to be something mystical, encompassing, all inclusive of some group out there that she talks about called they. I don't know what she means by it. She's never really said. It could be the caters, the annotators. It could be you. It could me. I mean, it's just they. And then she's very, very imprecise in her allegations and her claims. For people just may not know, but just recently, she's also trying to tell people that I've messaged her and I won't stop messaging her, and yet she'll never show evidence of this because it never happened. I've never messaged the woman in my life. Matter of fact, it's funny because in a live chat, people are saying, why don't you just email her? I'm like, because she's dishonest and she'll take it as some kind of weird personal persecution thing. And I'm like, why would I message her? I have no desire to talk to the woman unless she, wants to get facts. She can come here. That's fine. But I'm not chasing her down. I'm not trying to contact her. And so she's actually literally lied and said, oh, Steve, I have Steve blocked, but he continues to message me. There's a problem there. And of course, she'll never show evidence for that. So there's a vagueness there. Well, what should she mean by message? Right? What does she mean by, sending her messages? Because the only time I've ever even used her name was when I had a video about her. I put it on the content creator community tab. That's it. Let's just let somebody know that, hey, you made a video about them. And I think I did it, maybe twice. And then I used hashtag nonsense. But there's been no direct communication between Nonsense and I. I've never messaged her directly. I never emailed her. Yeah.
That is something that infuriates me. And it's not just with Nonsense or whatever. It's with anyone who does this. And I do it. I've caught myself doing it. And I try to, correct it when I have. But when people they don't use the correct terminology, like when you're saying, well, what do you mean by message? Like, are we talking email? Are we talking DMs? Are we talking a post, a comment? Like, what's a message? And when people don't use the correct terminology, then it creates a lot of confusion. And I almost wonder if this is a tactic that's done on purpose or not. I don't know.
Absolutely, it's done on purpose. But I believe it's absolutely done on purpose. Because when you look, Katie Joy did the exact same thing. When she went and she filed her affidavit to get a false TRO, she used specific terminology like, oh, when we were in a room together. And of course, we know now that was never the case. It was clearly just an online thing like this. We're not in a room together. This is, StreamYards. But she tried to convince the court we were physically in a room together. These are how they manipulate words, because people have a sense of what these words mean when they hear them. There's a connotation to them. And so when you hear the connotation of the word message, why are you messaging me? This means that you are sending somebody some kind of contact, either through direct message or through email. But I've never done that with nonsense. But this plays to that whole victim mentality. Another thing that they all seem to have in common. It's all of victimization, that they're the ones being victimized, even though they're the ones spreading misinformation about people.
That's what I think. Where the word "they" comes into play a lot is because of the whole victimhood status or mindset or whatever. Because I think that in the same, like much like with Katie Joy, I think the same thing applies to nonsense. Is that they just group everyone together. Anyone who's against them in any kind of way, who questions them, comes right out and calls them on their shit, or just doesn't verbally and outwardly support them. I think that they just lump all those people together, and they're all part of the they. They're the ones doing this, and it doesn't matter if the people in the they group even know each other.
Right.
And the victim's mind, they're all in on it.
Well, they did that with I'm just going to use her name so people will know the context. They use that with like the Nat. They put Nat in they.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody I've never had any communication with whatsoever. Zero. I've never talked to the woman in my life. You've had minimal conversations with her, but it was Katie Joy trying to lump people all in together with Nat, including myself, who has never had any communications with her. So this is what I see nonsense using that same playbook, because it goes to the vagueness of details. Who does she mean by they? If she's going to talk about a specific person, she needs to use that specific person's information so it could be addressed. Like, for example, her claiming that I've somehow harassed her, that's specific to me. I need to know what details she has, what she means by that, because she's making claims that I've talked about or I've messaged her. Okay, where are these messages? Katie Joy said the same thing. Katie Joy said, "Oh, Steve emailed me and threatened me. I've never sent an email to her in her life. This is why she never had one to produce." Mm-hmm. It's the same playbook. Anyways, welcome, Brandon and Rot.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Brandon. I'm not sure if I've met you before.
I'm probably not. It's okay though.
Brandon, what would you like to add?
Oh man, I've been around. I know 2 of the 3 have known about the bull BS for the whole time that they've been doing it, and man, it really seems like they've gotten away with it. But one thing you could probably do is find out what community they're going to next and warn them before they get there, or if they get there, just let them know what they're about.
They're going to be going somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I did with the Hive, right? I mean, this is exactly the reason why I even got back into this, is because I saw Unirock doing to Queen Bee what he has done to me and other people, and so I said, look, I have to speak up against this. So I'm hoping that they continue that, and if any one of these 3 move to another community, that the misinformation that they have follows them, and that people will point out to them, these people have gone and lied about people, they've smeared about people, and I know Unirock's moving to the Kick, right? No offense to Erin, because she's like a Kick fan now. And nothing wrong with Kick, but he's moving there because he wants to get a new echo chamber, right? He realizes that in YouTube, his days are dwindling because people have realized he's dishonest, and so he has to go find other people to grift from. And it's like, again, the whole cultivating and culling thing that they do. And so he's going to find another community. And I just asked the people from his other communities, the ones we've already talked to, that they recognize exactly what you said, Brandon. When they, especially if Unirock goes to another community, there are somebody from the Hive or anybody else or our communities will go over and let them know, hey, this is the person's history. This is what they've done. They have absolutely lied. It's not subjective. It is objective fact that these people have been smearing people for ages. Matter of fact, as I said, Unirock has a lawsuit now against him from JLR. Not the most upright, respectable guy in the world. I get that. But I think he's supposedly trying to do better. And okay, cool. But Jason has a defamation lawsuit pending against him, and so does Katie Joy, her 3rd or 4th. I even tried suing her for defamation. There's a reason why these people are involved in defamation suits, because they are continually lying about people, and it's very, very difficult for the honest people to get the information out to them, to the people that need to have it, because either one, people are just no longer interested in getting the facts, which are the sociopaths that they collect and will continue to follow them. The moderators of YouTube, of Unirock, they don't care. The new mods, or the ones that have been around forever, they don't care. But they have such an ease of access to platforms between Twitter Spaces, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Kick, all these different sources. They can go out and put out different misinformations to different people to get different results. And Katie Joy started that process. Remember back in the day, she would put out one thing on YouTube, one thing on Twitter, and one thing on Instagram.
There's such an easy out for this. Like, if they would just like be honest and be like, yeah, I fucked up. Like, everyone fucks up once in a while. Like, you know.
Well, no, this is where I think you're gone wrong. This isn't a fuck up. These are people who are not fucking up.
No,
These are not honest mistakes.
About it.
This is
intentional.
This is absolutely intentional. This is what my biggest gripe with people that are asking questions that don't seem to be able to. And again, nobody recently, but back when people were asking me, they were sea-lying me, asking me questions about things during like the non sequitur case, and most of them just couldn't understand that Kyle was absolutely being dishonest. He was lying through his teeth, and it was very hard to get that across until years later when it found out that he was lying. It came out in court he was lying. So it's very difficult to get people to realize that these three do this intentionally. This is not just minor fuck-ups. They go out of their way to provide misinformation for people for content. You have to get in their mindset that they are sociopaths. This is what they do.
I just can't wrap my head around that. Like I told you, I talked to Kyle after the split and whatever, and I think he thought I was trying to fuck him or something. So it's like, yeah, it's like these people are kind of screwed up.
Well, I mean, he was pretty narcissistic. He did think that everybody wanted him, but I mean, but you got to remember. How long did
I'm not gay, so I don't know what he was fishing for.
Maybe it didn't matter to him. But again, how long did it take for people to finally realize that he was lying? Even though I was telling everybody he was lying from day one. So
I think
I agree with Brandon's expression of like, it's like, come on, man, like, these fucking people.
I was there the whole time it was going on, watching it, man.
Stop barking.
Absolutely insane.
Well, and this is a repeat. This is a repeat of all that. Matter of fact, isn't it funny, Brandon, that there's so many similarities between Union Rock and Kyle that Kyle said he had a lawyer, he didn't. Union Rock says he has a lawyer, and apparently he doesn't, because if he had a lawyer, he'd be accepting service on behalf of JLR.
Yeah, hilarious.
JLR is threatening to eventually, I think it's 28 days, he can file a default judgment for trying to avoid service. Because Jason is going out of his way to avoid service, which he's already recognized there is a lawsuit pending, which means that he could file for a default judgment and say, look, he just avoids service. And you can't do that. You can't just say, I'm gonna dodge service that somebody's trying to serve you. Especially when he said he has a lawyer, which, okay, why isn't the lawyer accepting service? The same thing that Kyle did. Kyle didn't have a lawyer. He lied about that.
Yes, yeah, we discussed that. His high-powered attorney, Ron Schleusman.
Yes, Ron Schleusman.
Or whatever bullshit he's going to concoct.
I want to add though too. I think people would have seen his bullshit or acknowledged his bullshit a lot sooner had it not been for Katie Joy taking up with him and
Katie Joy did.
Giving him the support. Because I mean, no, seriously, because this was at the time. I mean, she was a growing, content creator, and then Unirock jumped into at the end of 2019 there and took up for Kyle. So I mean, here we're like two people who've been around a while. At least Unirock's been around a while on YouTube, and they're giving this dude support and everything. So I mean, I think that helped make him be seem to be credible a lot.
There we go. We're back. Sorry. I think it was you guys, not me. I don't know. I think we had a hiccup there.
Hi, Veda, by the way. Hi,
Veda.
Hey.
Yeah, let me get Veda in here in 1 second. So let me just reiterate what you said, because Kyle was charismatic, and so I can understand why people wanted to believe Kyle and believe Katie Joy. But the problem that I had was when I had asked people, hey, go ask Kyle for the facts. He's making these claims. Go ask him for evidence. Hey, Katie Joy is making these claims. Go ask her for evidence. Everybody who did got blocked, and the people who didn't, they never got the facts because they didn't want to get blocked. They're like, no, they're going to block me if I ask for evidence. What does this tell you?
Yeah. I don't think he was untalented. He just like honesty is like, it's a word of the day.
Well, nobody said it was a talent. Yeah,
don't
he's
fucking
talented.
lie to me.
He's very talented. All right, let's introduce the panel here for those who don't know. All right, let's start with EK people. EK people suck. I got it. EK people. aka Erin. Say hi.
Hi, I'm back. Yes, hi. Sorry.
I'll let you guys introduce
Hi,
yourselves.
yes, I'm Erin. I'm Erin from the channel
Yes.
EK People Suck. I know it's a
Oh, hello.
hi. I know it's a lame name, but I don't know. I started off as a blog post. I had just picked a name quickly just to put the blog post out, and I feel like I'm kind of stuck with it.
And you are a content creator.
Yes, yes. I mostly cover right now like the drama community or the hypocrisy of it.
What is going on with my?
And I try to do some comedy. I have this creator this character I kind of created called the Entitlement Translator. And yeah, so.
And you're fun. And I got this is how I know Erin from.
Post a link. I'll check it out.
We'll put it on the video description. Yeah. But Erin's videos, the Entitlement Translator, is how I actually got to know her because I was like, damn, this is funny. This is good stuff. Yeah. Anyways, all right, we got Rot Feast, who's not a content creator, but has been around for the community for quite some time, right, Rot?
But I am sort of a content creator, but not. I'm not aggressively sucking my own dick like a lot of these people sound like they are.
Did you have a gaming thing at one time?
No, I've been a stand-up comedian for
I knew that,
12 years.
but I didn't know you had that on YouTube. I just thought you did that on the side.
Really? I do improv.
Yeah, she's fun. She's funny.
All I do is improv. I never do it right. I just fuck with everyone in the crowd. That's my job.
Let's see who else we got here. Going back around, we got Brandon.
Hey, what's up? I guess I'm a content creator. I don't really cover anything. I'm what I call a YouTube civilian. I just do my own thing. I mean, I just know people from the.
And you've been around a very long time too, since day
yeah.
one. Since day one, so you go way back.
Yeah, I go way back with Steve and Erin.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right. And one of the newer content creators out there who's kind of new on the scene for about a year, we have Miss Veda.
Hello.
Well, hello.
I'm Veda. I guess you can call me Twitter. Hi. I do a lot of pre-recorded and live streams. I just started pretty much rolling in, and I make my little cartoons and stuff like that, and that's me.
Awesome. And we have
that's hard work, you know. It's not easy.
God, y'all should check me out one day.
Erin.
Well, we'll put that in the description too, I'm sure.
Erin, you want to say something, Erin?
Oh no, I just want to ask. I'm sorry. The gentleman who spoke after the comic.
Right.
Are you on YouTube? Do you have a YouTube channel or?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, we can. How about we switch?
We're making connections here.
Check each other out later.
We're making connections.
Yeah, sure.
And the last
I can send an invitation to my Discord too. That's where all my comic buddies go.
Oh my God, awesome. I would love that. Thank you.
And last but not least, one of the OGs of the crowd, somebody who has been around with Katie Joy probably even before I was, to at least a small amount, the wonderful, the amazing Suzanne, who can't hear us.
Who's going to have to ditch? My internet is very wonky.
Okay.
I said I'm going to have to ditch. I can't hear anything.
she's all the way in Costa Rica.
I'll be back later. I'll
try.
Right.
All right. She's got wonky Costa Rican internet.
Internet sometimes doesn't work.
Sorry about that.
There she goes.
All right. But anyways, all right. So that's the panel we got right now. But like I said, if you want to join, especially people that want to ask questions about some of the misinformation that's been put out there, that's what we're really looking for, because people will say line and people bring back stuff up all the time. So it's just like, hey, go back and watch this one video. That way you don't have to keep playing their game, because once they start playing these games, it's, this happened years ago, and they start dragging up stuff that has always, been brought up, but always has been resolved long time ago, and they do this on purpose. And listen, you know what, Erin, let's just maybe go through these points that I highlighted about what what we think these three content creators explicitly have been doing from their playbook. And I'm not going to say who started the playbook. I think Katie Joy was the originator, and I think Unirock and Nonsense copied them, but it's subjective, right? So
yeah.
All right, so let me ask the panel. The first thing I thought of when asked myself, how is it these three get away with so much misinformation? The first one is it is overwhelming information. There's so much to talk about, so much complexity in the subject matter because it's not just one community. It's not just one person. There are 100 people that were involved in the non sequitur showcase, trying to get all involved in it. If not thousands, maybe 1,000 at one time. I mean, there's a lot. There was hundreds and hundreds of people, and then maybe after the end, it was like maybe 100. But there was a lot of people with overwhelming information. Some people getting things right, some people getting things wrong, and so I think all three of them thrive on the fact that no one human being could probably remember or deal with all the information that has come around, in the last how many years? I think that's they've landed.
There's like a cyclical system where like they're weaponizing people. They know that it can cause harm to other people and stuff like that, which I don't agree with at all.
Erin, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they even like weaponize like any social issues or like I can't tell you how many times I'm accused of being an R apologist and everything and supporting.
That's their go-to. That's one of their go-tos. If you hear anybody,
it's like what do you like really?
Let me emphasize that. I can tell you right now, if you hear any of those three or any of their acolytes use the R apologist term, you know they're full of crap. You know they're just they're trying to harm people because they're weaponizing rape. That's all they're doing. Yeah. It's straight up, and I'm just going to call it rape apologists. They are weaponizing rape. Because I don't care about this being monetized or not. I don't give a flying fuck. They are rape apologists because they're weaponizing rape in order to profit from them, and that is sick to me. And they've been doing it for years. All three of them have done that. Well, I don't know if Nonsense has done it, but at least Unirock and Katie Joy absolutely have.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah, no,
I don't follow Nonsense that much. You do more than I do, but
she's definitely been like kind of dipping her toes in the water of that whole fucking pool right there. Because she's like, anytime she runs into me or something like outside of her channel, where it's like I feel like she feels like she's losing the lead or the edge or whatever, she jumps right to how. Oh, she read that Katie Joy's R report.
You can say rape. It's a rape report.
Yeah.
It's rape.
Okay,
rape. Look. Here's the thing. I understand people. People want. They don't want to. They don't want to demonetize their channel, and I get that. But I want to have an adult conversation. They are using rape as a weapon. There's no way around getting. I don't want to minimize it. I don't want to trivialize it. It is sick. It is freaking. It to me is mind blowing that the people have actually.
It's incredibly dangerous because there's psychos out there that they know will go after people.
Dude, they planned on this. This is intentional. First of all, the victims need to speak out more. The victims of sexual assault and things of that nature have actually said that they're offended by them weaponizing rape. And then remember they went after they went to Frank Pilardo Jr. and Chris Hansen to try to get them investigate people for being a cult, sex cult. Like me and Erin leading a sex cult. It's like it's fucking stupid as shit.
I am part of Steve's sex cult, obviously.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I haven't seen you there. Come on, dude.
He locks me in his dungeon once in a while.
It is the world's worst sex cult. And you know what's funny? And we're gonna get into number 2, which is extensive history of events, which is a historical revisionism that they are able to do. Do you know who's actually taking claim to the original person who started the whole sex cult? AZ. She's taking claim to that when it was actually Unirock, and AZ jumped on that. And what's so funny? Wow. She said she made it as a joke, and yet I was interviewed on her panel at one time, and she asked me that question: do you really have a sex cult? And she got that from Unirock, and now she's trying to take credit that she started all that. And then there's like, when
would you have the fucking time to start a sex cult?
Dude, I'll make time if I could. Why not? I would go for that. What's wrong with having a sex cult? I don't care. But here's the thing: they're passing it off as a joke, and yet Unirock did, in fact, go with other minions of Katie Joy and Unirock to talk to Frank Parlato Jr., who investigated the NXIVM sex scandal, to investigate me. This was not a joke. They went in real life to try to get him to investigate me as a actual sex cult leader. This is not bullshitting. This is facts. I have the emails.
Definitely.
And I have from Frank.
Where's the deposition?
Yeah, and by the way, Frank liked my content so much. He's like, look, I don't investigate all these things because they're mostly all, whatever. He goes, but I was interested because they had a lot of things to say about you. I went to your channel. I found your channel to be, what was his words? Good. I forget the words the specific words he used, so I don't want to like misquote him. Reasonable. I think he used the word reasonable, rational. But he liked it so much he became a co-host on one of my episodes of the Non Sequitur Show with Jim Jules. Remember, on sex trafficking. That's how much. Yeah, that's how much he liked my content. That's how I got a hold of him, because Unirock et al. Tried to get a hold of him to try to investigate me, but he did. He was like, "I'm not going to investigate you, Steve." He's like, "First of all, this there's nothing to any of this, but second of all, I like your content." So it backfired on Unirock. So when they say it was just a joke, no, it was not just a joke. They tried to go in real life. This is what I'm saying. This is what those three people do. This is facts. This is not. I have all the evidence for this. They admitted to this. It's like, matter of fact, Erin, Unirock has in his titles, Frank Parlato Jr. investigates Steve McRae or something like that. Does he not?
I'm enjoying Brandon's
what?
exacerbation over this whole bullshit.
I don't know, man. And for people who don't know about about Steve and everything, for them, hearing that he's a rape apologist makes them think that he's the worst people on earth, and they won't even believe him because they think he's a rape apologist. And
which is funny, because how many videos do I have, like a Caffeine Corner and other things, talking about the horrific nature of certain crimes? And rape to me is one of the most psychologically damaging crimes of all time. And yet they know how I feel about that. They know that I find it to be such a morally egregious crime that they weaponize that against me, because that's one thing that I tell people. Rape is horrifying. I've had my friends that have been victims of this. Okay, so they know that by weaponizing it, it bothers me and it bothers the victims that have been sexually assaulted, and they don't give a damn about that.
And it's a tactic to have the people that don't know stay away from people that like you that tell the truth.
Oh yeah,
right.
I remember one nonsense. She said something in a video. This was a while back. This was like, I want to say like maybe around Thanksgiving or something. But she said she was talking about the rape report and everything. Mine a little red stream there, and then she was saying something along the lines where like, and Erin should know better, or no. Either Erin's a victim or she's not. And if she's a victim, then she should know better. And if she's not a victim, then she shouldn't speak on such things or some shit like that. And I'm like, so you got me set up where I'm wrong no matter what.
You're screwed.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a no-win situation. And by the way, let's make it very clear. And again, anybody who ever talks about the so-called rape report that you read, just go back and watch this video and then look at the playlist that on Erin's channel, because it wasn't a rape report. It was it had nothing to do with the rape report. This is the misinformation that they put out.
A brief explanation. It's like 5 sentences long. I did this in a comment the other day. I'm like, why couldn't I just done this like 2 years ago? Why could I just simplify it like that 2 years ago? But anyway, what I did was I discussed the very information that Katie Joy herself put out in dozens of tweets, posts, and comments, several live streams, and video uploads throughout numerous years. That's all I did. The only additional information I brought to the table was when I explained the steps that the investigating officer took in his exhausted efforts in investigating her claims. That's the only thing I added to the story. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did, but I did that because she was lying about him.
But they know this. They know that you were literally talking about the police officer and the misinformation she put about him. And so this is, again, all three of them. This is again what I call them the unholy trinity of misinformation. They know damn well what you read. It's clear what you read, and it wasn't the rape report. It was about the officer, but they don't care because it's an attack that they can use. Hey Vita, what you got?
Go ahead. I was going to say that my view on it is I've read it up and down. I've researched it, and to me, it's not. I refuse to call it a rape report. First of all, there has to be a rape for it to be that. Second of all, I'm not trying to, before anybody says I'm trying to invalidate her as a victim, she's not a victim. I am a former rape survivor, and, her rape kit was in there. It came out clear. All the evidence came out clear. I don't believe it for 1 second. And number
I'm,
two,
and I agree with you on record. I think she lies about everything. I know she lied about me, so why would she not lie about some other dude?
that's exactly what I was getting to. The best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. She's falsely accused a guy before. She came and falsely accused Steve's. That validates me even more. She uses gender. If you're a male, you're an abuser or a sexual assault, abuser or something like that. And then if you're a female, you're set in different categories. But those are the weapons that she uses because she knows that they work and they're just so shocking.
Oh, absolutely. And let me.
Steve has a dick, so clearly he's a predator.
Well, apparently, that's what I used to talk to Katie Joy about.
It's the dick that's the predator.
Apparently, that was most of our discussions that I wasn't aware of. But it's funny you mentioned that, Veda, because that tactic that Katie Joy uses. Look at the other two. Unirock claimed. I swear to God, I'm not even. Unirock claimed that I.
No, I thought of a joke, but go on.
Well, Unirock claimed that I sexually harassed him. Remember this?
Who?
Unirock claimed that I sexual harassment one time. You remember?
Oh. Yeah, over the
Really?
Yes. Do you remember what it was? The panty thing?
Yeah, with the redhead, right?
Yes. See, you remember this. Yep. So I'm not. Yeah, again, I'm not. This is not historical revisionism. This is a history, that in facts and evidence. Unirock claimed that I sexually harassed him. I'm not even joking here. And then what's Nonsense doing? She's claiming that I've somehow sexually harassed her, that I'm trying to slide into her DMs or some shit. Yeah, and she made the accusation, which, by the way, I haven't seen anybody ask her for receipts about me, quote, sliding into young girls' DMs so I can add them to my sex cult. Where's this happening?
Are you saying I'm not young?
It's occurring in your dungeon where we all get stuffed into gimp suits.
35 to 45 is young to me, and I'm cool with this. But where's these receipts that she's always talking about? She's bringing evidence. She's bringing the receipts. Okay, and when by the way, this goes back to the what we said originally about terms. When you say to somebody they're sliding into young girls' DMs, there's a connotation there. Even though for me, 35 is young, and that's pretty much my age bracket. I like late 30s, early 40s. I'm attracted to that. That's not considered. I mean, to somebody who's like much younger than me, that probably wouldn't be younger. That'd be clearly older. Brandon, how old are you? 30 something?
I'm 38. Yeah.
Oh, you're 38. All right, you're in that bracket.
People looking at you.
Yeah, I'm 38. I know type. I know I am.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Everybody
It's the
with common
beard.
sense, rationality, absolutely with no evidence, will know that that's a lie. Absolutely a lie. And I'm going to prove tomorrow how she said that you followed her over to Crime and Fashion, and I'm going to show that.
Oh, that was bullshit too. That was absolute bullshit. Nonsense. Okay, so there's a channel out there, Crimes and Fashion. I was listening to her. I think her name's Tina or Lisa. One or the other. What is it? I'm sorry.
I don't remember her name.
I really don't remember, and I apologize. But it was Crimes and Fashion, and I went on panel. I was discussing with her. She was really cordial, but there's certain people's names she didn't want brought up, and I get that. I respect the panel that I'm on. If they don't want to talk about something, I get that. I really do. There's just so much information that if you start going down a path that they're not comfortable with, I totally understand that. It's their panel. They run it any way they want. No problem. But I was talking about something, and then as soon as I stepped out, Nonsense jumped on and started bullshitting about me. And then saying that I followed her over there, and I was like stalking her. And I'm like, fuck you. I didn't even know she was in a live chat. Yeah, it was bullshit. And then she's saying that I'm sliding in her messages and I'm emailing her and I'm harassing her and that she's going to get her husband involved. I'm like, who the fuck I don't even listen to this woman. The only reason I even know this woman exists is because of Erin. No offense, pretty much. Erin and Veda, that's it. I wouldn't even know the fuck this woman even is. I don't give a shit.
Wait.
Well, today's narrative is that Unirock belongs to us, and he's been belonging to us.
Oh, get the fuck out.
What was her husband or her man gonna do?
Wait, what?
What the fuck was her man gonna do?
Fuck no, I don't. Right?
I've been watching you face palming for like 20 minutes.
I'm a little confused here. Wait, what?
It's gonna happen a lot more.
I haven't watched somebody even Erin
saying that Steve is following her and won't take the answer no, and that he's harassing her by not taking the answer no. And that
I don't blame you, man.
Hang on.
It's a pile of bullshit.
Hang on. That was the narrative from the other day. Erin asked me if I watched the stream today, and I haven't. Mm-hmm. Something happened in today's stream. What the fuck?
Well, I don't know. I was reading the comments because I do the YouTube comment search. So I type in EKC and I see what comes up. And Black Wolf said something about what was it here? I got it right here. I'll just read it quick. But then I read more comments that came up in the search results. So I don't think that this is what happened. But Black Wolf had said you are lying. You're lying on the wrong something. You are slandering people and lying. If you filed a police report on EKC, it will be in a FOIA. good, we will find out soon or whatever. And then, but no, then a minute later, someone else came back and said she didn't say she filed one at EKC. So I'm thinking maybe I just jumped the gun there.
Yeah, I don't think she filed. Yeah,
So,
she didn't file
my
anything.
bad.
Oh,
I
by the
take
way, it
that
is
back.
Lisa. Thank you. Yeah, Lisa. And like I said, I'm under the opinion, if you're a content creator, you're a panel, you run it the way you want. I respect that. You have to respect that because I get it. When, like, for example, I went over to Queen Bee's channel, and she was very nice. The panel was cordial. They let me say my piece. That's fine. But there's certain things they didn't really want to talk about, like Katie Joy, because that's a deep, dark hole that they didn't want to go down. I get it. I get it, right? I totally get it. And you have to respect the content creators not wanting to jump into every fucking fight because it's just so much, I get it. Anyways, curious.
I totally agree with that because, like, there's all kinds of content you can create without needing the drama stuff. Like,
Right.
you can play fucking video games or whatever.
Yep. Before we go on to the next one, I'd like to introduce Curious Idea.
Hi, people.
Hi, Curious.
Curious idea. I like that.
Curious is relatively new to the scene.
welcome.
Hi, creator.
Yeah, I mean, for those that didn't hear me go on about, I'd say like a week or two ago with you, Steve, I come from being a supporter of Uni. I can show the receipts. I think I might have sent you an email, Steve, on the receipt, but I did pay for Uni's microphone.
Oh no, I do not know this. I didn't. If I got it, I didn't.
Yeah, I was drunk with that first email, and then I sent it on Gumby.
I'll check, but I don't remember getting an email from you about that. And this is the first I've heard this.
It was Ask Me Anything, Steve, whatever that email
Steve, Ask Me
is.
Anything. That's my public email. Anybody can use that for anything.
Okay.
I have other
well,
emails I use for more personal stuff.
I was just drunk ranting, and I was like, and I was thinking about, please just keep some of that personal information private. But
Oh yeah, of course. No, look, I'm a vault. Okay, I'm a vault.
well, I think some of this is a jealousy factor, right? And it's also a disinformation age because, I mean, the amount of hours I spent on, I'll send you the receipt in a second, Steve, if you don't got it. But I did block out the identifying information and the order number. But I was part of, going back to the backstory, there's a guy named Isaac Cappy that I knew from New Mexico that was ranting online about elites and child pedos.
Yeah, I remember Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the
really,
show.
really
What show was he in? He was in
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, he was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
That's right.
well, it was filmed in New Mexico. Like, he says he went out to LA for the film industry. Know him and Monster Paws, my friend Nate. Nate was my Valentine in 2001. So that's how long Nate and I go back. And I asked Nate, I was like, your friend's going crazy on the internet. He's like, I don't know. You asked him. He's bad energy is what Nate told me. And so I started to do some sleuthing on all this and then discovered Uni Rock. And then there was this whole SRA, satanic ritual abuse thing with Fiona Barnett. We outed her. I received a 118-page document that matched to my research, so we went after Fiona. We had a
Why so many pages? What the fuck?
Because that's how much of a cluster.
Yeah, well, this goes down the whole rabbit hole that Erin and I started to go down with the whole.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
I heard Isaac Happy. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the dude who died, right?
Yeah, he jumped off a bridge.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a really
pushed.
sad story. I mean, with Isaac, I actually had to get on a phone call with his brother David. Probably not even 24 hours. Like, that's how connected I am in New Mexico. You watch Breaking Bad, it kind of hits the nail on the head with our, that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Big fan.
Curious,
of
let
Breaking
me ask you this because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too much. But the reason why I don't want to go down to it, and let me ask you and Erin's view on this because we live this firsthand. People that start asking questions about the whole Cicadia, 3301, the whole QAnon, the whole Uni Rock's participation in it. Which, by the way, he was just a mouthpiece. Thomas basically made him a mouthpiece for QAnon, for mostly the cicada puzzle. And
don't say his name 3 times.
Yeah, I'm not. I never talked to the guy. Okay, but I've tried to tell people this is a rabbit hole. If you do look down, keep it to yourself because these players are people that will go in real life. These are dangerous people.
Dangerous.
Yeah. And
you said his name 3 times. That's like the Bloody Mary.
But hang on one sec. But one sec.
The lights are on. We're good.
This is not like nonsense saying, oh, those people, they are dangerous. No, these are reports. These are actual. There's been I mean, you've read Dr. Dilly's
Isaac passed
Professor.
away.
Yeah, well, he killed
I mean,
himself. But,
that's proof right there that this group.
and there's another one that has a
Mindset.
suicide that was questionable. The guy that had the car monoxide in his own garage. Remember him? I don't remember his name. He was. Oh, who was he? He was involved in Cicada 3301 too.
There's a lot of people that die from that when they drink too much and they leave their car on in the garage and they suffocate.
Yeah, but this was we don't know if people was he murdered, was he killed? He worked for I think was it Google or something along the lines because he was part of that Cicada 3301 puzzle. And I don't remember his name.
I'm not familiar with that, I don't think. But
Seems like a lot of people too, like they were associated with allegedly associated with Q and the creation and the existence of it. They seem to have died from COVID, which I mean, I guess maybe that's not too much of a coincidence, but
that Robert Q. Still, that's he said it was pneumonia. I'm like the Rona got him.
yeah. Like I said, I don't want to go down that path, but people have been asking about that. Go check it out if you want to. But Unirock was never directly. I can cue on. You got to remember, Unirock does not have an original idea in his head. No, everything he gets from other people, and he runs with it. It's all. That's all.
Said that he got
as we know, he's a special operative who's been through buds.
Yeah, buds. Yeah, he's been through buds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Unirock, but no, nobody's suggested he's gone through bud training.
Okay, I just sent you a receipt from Amazon and then how I took down Reddit.
Right.
Now, the subreddit Great Awakening. It was. I mean, you can match if you pull up the Great Awakening, like Washington Post or whatever. And you search on the dates, the ones I've circled in that screenshot you're going to get in that email. It was 3 days later. I was PMSing when I wrote that email.
I'm honestly, I'm not seeing anything new.
Hold on, I just sent it through.
I'm PMSing right now.
Just Steve Ask Anything. So.
Yeah.
It should say receipts on it.
Yeah, I'll check in a few seconds here. It's
Okay.
I don't see anything right now. I like to say that's my public one. Then I have a private one I use for non sequitur show, right?
Okay.
But I don't really want that one out unless it's because okay. So that rabbit hole I really want to go down a lot. But I know people have been looking into Uni's past, and the summation of that is Uni had fuck all to do with anything. He didn't expose Pizzagate. He didn't expose QAnon. He was given all this information by various people involved in it, and he was just dissemination of misinformation. He worked with a little bit with Jack Posovic. I think I pronounced his last name. He was producer for InfoWars for Alex Jones, and that's how he basically just got involved in any of this. He's just and so again, it's just a rabbit hole of fuckery.
Jack Posobiec.
Posobiec, yeah, exactly. And I don't want to deal with any of that because Erin and I tried, and I gotta tell you, it gave us a headache. Dude.
Shadowbox.
Yeah, it's just when you think you've got something, it goes over here, and it's so much craziness. That's what I'm saying. When you have overwhelming information and extensive history of events, it's difficult to get to the core of things. I think we've got to where we're going to get as far as our understanding of Unirock's relationship to it, and that's all that matters. He had fuck all to do with it other than a mouthpiece. That's it. When
you have a series of lies, obfuscation of the truth is key.
Yeah,
that's how you maintain it.
What I've come to the conclusion after watching Unirock for all those years, and then he pops up like a bad rash with an infected skin boil, and it turns into
it sounds like Katie Joy. Katie Joy has those all the time. That's not even a joke. That's true.
But he is the mouthpiece. He gets like I was one of his researchers, right? There was a few of us. We were in a separate Discord. And like I'll tell you later, which I'll give you the link.
How long ago was this? Can you give me an idea what time frame so I know what time frame?
2018 to the beginning of 2020.
All right, so this was during non sequitur show. Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of like when you were still kind of talking to him, then he went after you. Then this whole Katie Joy makeup community thing came around, and I was checked out. I had started working in new positions, so I was busy with that. So I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't have as much time on my hands like I had to, and I had in the past because I was consulting virtually. So I could just pick up whenever I wanted to. And then when I got the full-time position where I had to go into the office, I wasn't really paying attention. Then the Isaac Happy thing happened in May of 2020. That was like the first week I started working, and I missed my meeting. I sat back and was like, WTF? And so, this has real life implications. And it's not just one person you're messing with on the internet. This is a ripple effect. I had to warn all my friends not to trust anything on the internet with Isaac. And my friend goes, he was in a cult. And I was like, I think you're right. Because he knew Isaac too. We were trying to get a hold of the computer at the time too, but that's another story for another day.
So let me ask you, what was the final breaking point where you realized like that Uni wasn't interested in the actual facts, that he was just outright out there to lie to people and just try to get donations and grift from that?
Well, by the time this whole thing against you, I was already kind of checked out because I'm not into the makeup community. Like,
yeah, me either. I know nothing about them.
I have good genes. I look pretty on film, but I just choose not to. I would say I'm a producer than anything. I'm not. I like to do graphics and stuff like. I don't like to be on film.
Real quick, but, Brandon, can you mute your mic real quick, Brandon? It's got some heavy breath sounds. I'm sorry. Oh, perfect.
So what happened was those of us that were in that separate Discord, Hannah Bananas was getting attacked pretty hardcore by Uni, and
that's quite a name.
And I was in that Discord with her, and I was seeing all this stuff go down with the doxing and with Creepshow Art and Katie Joy, and she's just having her way at it. Anytime she would ask Uni to jump, he would jump.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
It was like the Puppet Master or something. And so I was kind of checked out already, but when the stuff he pulled and threw Hannah Bananas under the bus is when I went. I silently left. I didn't even say, I didn't do anything like the other people in his Discord just did recently. We just parted. We didn't even say goodbye. We were just like, we're done. And so it was a moderate extremist was there, Billy Mart. There was a
moderate left too for the same reasons. Yeah. Technically moderate left because they had docs Bite Me Now. Remember that? There's a creator or at least a Discord and YouTube person named Bite Me Now. And
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they just doxed the hell out of her under Katie Joy's, want to go after somebody. Same thing with Creepshow Art. You remember that she was basically trying to get people to use her. Yeah.
And then the Hannah stuff. And then I was like, because I trust Hannah, like her and I and a couple other people, we were major researchers behind the scenes with him. He never did any of his research. That's why I can back up with receipts.
Yeah, repeat that again. Repeat that. Yeah, say that exact same thing again. Repeat that again for people in the back.
Uni can't research with shit.
There you go. We know that.
He uses other people's ideas. He's like a plagiarist with interesting graphics that might give you seizures.
Yeah, it's a lot of show.
These dumb fucks are coming for all of us. I think they're too stupid to figure out who I am.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that you had left during that time, because again, that was time the mass exodus that was happening when people were putting docs information, and he was quite fine with it. And then when people spoke out about things,
the original mods to supporters, we did not agree with it. That's why there was a mass exodus. Not all of us vocalized it, but I'm still good friends with some of these people. I just don't. They're not really online in this pocket because they're kind of just over the whole Uni thing. But I keep them informed of the shenanigan fuckery that's going on right now.
Okay. Do any of us want to talk about that, or do you want to move on to the next one here?
I like how that was illustrated. Shenanigan fuckery.
And Brandon, you got. And Brandon, just can you mute when you're not speaking? You do have a lot of background noise. I can hear it. Oh, see, that's so much quieter. I don't know what it is.
Okay, it's AC.
Yeah, it's an AC. Yeah, it's an AC unit. I have mine on too, but I have a filter on it. You might want to try putting noise suppression on your mic. I have it on.
You should fart into your mic.
All right. Anyways, so one of the other things I thought about what the three things that the three things do is, one of them is the severity and the egregiousness of the claims. A lot of people just think to themselves, look, if somebody makes a claim about somebody of such an egregious nature, there might be something true it. Because why would somebody lie with such an egregious thing? I mean, why would Katie Joy lie about being sexually harassed if she wasn't? I mean, people just normally don't do this unless you're a sociopath. Why would Nonsense claim the same thing unless you're a sociopath? Why would Unirock claim the same thing? Because most of us think, hey, a normal person's not going to lie about these things. You have to go out of your way to lie about something to such an extent for so long. It requires a mentality that all of us don't have, but they seem to be able to do it with ease because that's how they function in society. So I think the fact that they come up with the most ridiculous things is the same thing like the Nigerian prince scam. The way that works is they want to filter out the false positives. They don't want the people questioning. They want the people so stupid that they're going, oh, this is a Nigerian prince. I'm going to be rich. Yeah, I'll send you $1,000. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the 0.001% kind of stuff. That's what Uni cultivates. He wants to find the dumbest of the dumb.
It works.
It works
a lot of the time. You can generate money that way.
Very effective.
I do have a question. Somebody had asked me, I think it was Misty, asked me about JLR. What did you ask me, Misty, about the JLR? I saw it come up and I can't find it again, but I put a mental note. She asked me something. Oh, let's see. Let me see if I can find it again. Oh yes, there it goes. I have a question about JLR latest tweet regarding Unirock. Do you think it's the real Uni, or another Jason? I remember people trying to expose him before, but Jason Smith was a popular name. That particular one he has, as far as I remember, is the real Jason. I remember everything JLR's finding has been out there for a long time. He's just doing the legwork that everybody else has already been done. That's all. There's nothing new that he's come up with yet. And I think that he's baiting Jason. I think
old shoe.
Yeah, I think Jason JLR knows exactly what he's doing with these lawsuits. He's had 2,600 lawsuits. He knows what he's doing to play the game. He wants Jason to respond. He wants Jason to say some fucked up shit. I think he's just playing him like a fiddle, because nothing he says so far can hurt his case, because he's not saying things that are slanderous or defamatory. He's just making observations like, oh, hey, I did this FOIA request for Jason's military records. I didn't find anything. And by the way, we do know we have a FOIA expert here, Erin. She can tell you, and I'll let her talk in her own words here, that they have to be worded just right, or they come back with fuck all.
Right. Usually, yeah. Because well, it depends on what it is you're asking for, though, too. Like if it's something that has like a victim involved, like with some sort of protection status, like in my experience with trying to obtain that police report on Katie Joy, because she was considered an SA victim in the eyes of the law there, or not the investigating agency anyways. Because of that, they couldn't really give me much of anything. I had to be very vague about what I was asking for. If they knew exactly what I was asking for, then they wouldn't even respond. They would tell me that they can't respond to my request, because their response would be, I could very well be confirming what I said in my request to be true or false. And they can't do that according to Minnesota data privacy laws. And I don't know how it is for other states or whatever, or for other types of information that you're trying to obtain. But your best bet, though, is to be concise. I mean, you don't want to be like, hey, give me all of your case files for like this date to this date. You don't want to do that. You want to be concise.
You want specificity.
Yeah, but you don't want anything to be identifiable to anyone involved in the information that you're trying to obtain, because then they might, so let me see
if I can word this properly. You want specific information, but not personally identifiable information. So you want to be narrow. I guess it's better to say you want to be narrow in scope. Yeah, you want to be narrow in scope, but not get personal information.
With your fancy words.
Well, I want to be precise, and it's funny because Ellie has said JLR is being very careful with wording. I agree, and the Hive had been mentioning this, that is JLR hurting his case? No, he's very careful in his wording. But let me make it very clear. Just because he didn't find any FOIA request on Jason doesn't mean that none of us suggested Jason didn't serve. And so this is, again, rewording or rewriting historical revision, doing the historical revisionism, because there was people out there saying Steve said that Jason never served, and so like, when the hell does this ever happen? Nobody's ever done this. None of us have ever said Jason didn't serve. I question certain things about his military service because he doesn't seem to know a lot about it. Like, he wasn't in very long. It just things didn't add up, and so I think JLR is just doing a fishing expedition, but that's fine. He's allowed
to. We discussed that before. Just like when he was talking about like doing helo jumps and shit like that. It's like, dude, just be honest about your service. Like, it doesn't matter if you had grunt work. Like, it's a job.
No, Steve, remember you had done a tweet. All you did was just pretty much state that the way he behaves, his behavior isn't of suit with somebody from the military. Is all you were saying. And they just took that as you were saying he wasn't a veteran.
I'll be right back. Steve, check Messenger though. I'll be right back.
I'll interject. I think, I've never really questioned Uni's military service, but he does tell a lot of whoppers. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, if you question his behavior whatsoever, he immediately tries to tie it into his military service and say that you're vet bashing him. He won't acknowledge that we're talking about his behavior, nothing that, is even associated with his veteran status. It's his behavior itself. That's it.
Well, it's deflections. It's basically like
You're like if you're like a tech doing like brake jobs on MRAMs or something like that, it's still a job. Just be honest about it.
Well, he could do all of this by just showing like the whole DD-214 or just something, stating that he was in there, and then all of this would go away. Exactly.
Nobody here who is being honest is questioning your record.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was muted. Let me just repeat.
Just pictures. I mean, pictures would be sufficient. Just showing that you were there, or
Yeah.
that, just something.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I have nothing. This goes back to one of the things I noted on the difficulty defending misinformation. When you have these allegations, why should I have to jump through hoops to validate anything? I know my military record. Anybody else who questions can fuck off. If they think that I didn't, that's their belief. But I want to see evidence. I'm only going to respond to evidence. He's lied about his military experience. There's nothing I've ever said that I've lied about or embellished in any way, shape, or form. He has. Why do I need to jump through hoops? But I at least showed my stuff. I show my my Westpac books. I have multiple friends from my ship on my Facebook. I mean, I
have DoD contacts. I could find out if you were bullshitting, and I know you aren't.
Well, yeah. Look, if I put Happy Veterans Day shipmates and I put all my shipmates on my Facebook page, which you can go see, totally think one of them's going to go, I don't know you.
Excuse me. So I was having a thought. It's that, this is his life. He, probably hasn't amounted to a lot of things in his life. So he tells the story, he joins the military, right? But then when he's doing the YouTube, he's getting like glorification. He's getting the donations. He's getting his ego feed. And it's all about the ego, me, and not really worrying or caring about other people as so much as he can get those sub grabs, the clicks, the likes, the donos.
Which is exactly
what kind of views does he get?
He got like over over 1,500 views in his last stream.
It's pretty big.
Isn't it? Bravado. He just has this false bravado about him. He has this false sense of ego, inflated ego. It's just.
But isn't it exactly like Katie Joy? I mean, how are they any different?
Well, yeah. I mean, he hung out enough with Katie Joy that he picked. He's a chameleon too, if you haven't.
Well, the reason why I question anything is he inflates his story. He over exaggerates. He adds to stories. He'll take a matter of fact and turn it into a lie.
It's just everything.
Yeah, Maki points out that I went out of my way to put out all the, a whole bunch of information about my military service. I'm very proud of it. I stand by it. And he knows, of course, vets that have served and served proudly. To try to discredit them is a slight against the person doing the discrediting, because
it's
fucked up. You don't go after vets that have been honorably discharged, that serve their country honorably. That's he was maybe honorably discharged. I think it was probably a general, or I don't think it was an OTH, but he probably had a general medical discharge. He might have an honorable because he has VA. So to get VA, you have to have an honorable, general, or what's called OTH. You can't have a dishonorable. So he has VA. So he did get out under at least decent conditions. I have honorable, right? That's what I got out on. But for him,
I told you how angry that kind of stolen valor stuff makes me, because like I haven't served, but I know a lot of people who have, and like they're fucked up forever when they come back. A lot of them.
Go ahead.
See, I've never questioned service. what brings attention to it and people's curiosity is the way he continually goes on and on about it to what nobody would even look at it if he would just shut the hell up about it.
See, me personally, like I don't know. Maybe I'm one of the few people who I don't really care if he's lying or not. Because like when it comes down to the things that we discuss or the things that are talked about regarding uni, like him serving isn't going to make him any more credible. And him not serving, I don't think it's going to make him any more discredible, because really it's Unirock. Can he get any more discredible, really? But like him having served like X amount of years ago isn't going to suddenly convince people that his bullshit isn't bullshit. You know,
Yes.
I mean,
He thinks it does, though. He thinks it does.
crazy.
He's trying to throw off the, well, guys, I was in the military, so I'm always telling the truth.
At one point, he
credibility to the stuff, and that's the thing, is that you tell enough whoppers in life, and you have enough people in the crowd listening to you. You might be able to get away with it for a while, but then there's going to be a lot of people to call you on your bullshit, and that's what I'm seeing right now. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and with the advent of the pervasive internet, it's like people are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, by the way, I want to show. I was seriously this. So like some of the things I can't actually prove because it's just so long ago. But I had said the other day, I got a perfect score to my ASVAB. ASVAB is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, and you have what's called an AFQT, which is basically an average. The highest you can possibly get if you got a perfect is a 99. It's not 100. It's a 99 the way that we do the math. And so here's my Navy training command book that I was in, right? And here's me as what's called EPO, which was Educational Petty Officer. And the reason why I got Educational Petty Officer is because I was the smartest person in my division. According to them. I mean, I got a 99. So that's me right there. So yes, I did serve, and yes, I was a nuke, and yes, I graduated school 80.
Well, we're not questioning that. I mean, my main thing is
no, I know that. I'm proud of it. And Unirock wants to try to character assassinate me when he's lying about his military career.
It's muddying waters. It's look over here, nonsense used and try to plagiarize like me, on the distractions, deflections of their own deviance or their own fucked up
projection. It's projection.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so it comes down to the stories we tell, the lies we weave. I'll give Uni credit. I mean, he sucked me in for almost 2 years. And there was a reason. It's the same thing with Dolly Vision. There's a reason why people watch him, because they're entertaining. But then it's like a broken record. It's on repeat. It's just the same freaking topic. Or, you have to have an enemy. I have to be the perpetual victim. And, I just get, it's tiring. How much energy wasted. But if this is your life, this is your meaning, is to be a YouTube creator and have this following, no matter how much you're selling your soul down the fucking road to the next highest bidder, there's some fucked up shit going on in your life, and he's not going to change, man.
Nope. No, he has no reason to change. So let me ask you about this, and I'll ask the panel. So one of the things I think is the most egregious things that they are able to do that we're not is they have unethical advantage. For a fact, this is not even subjective, Unirock Nonsense and Katie Joy have been willing to lie under the most ridiculous circumstances, both big lies and little lies. And yet, when you're an honest person, we don't want to go out there and get misinformation. Matter of fact, we're the ones that say, look, even if you have misinformation about Unirock, fix it. We don't want misinformation out there. This is why we have such a fuck ton of information to fight the misinformation. We have overwhelming evidence, and it sucks because people have to go through it and they can't. There's no one single way a person can sit there and try to figure out the history. It's not possible.
Let me say something. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to the lay person, right? Me trying to explain this craziness on the internet to just even a normal person,
it's hard.
In my life, it's over their head. And me to explain it to other content creators, and they're, they have their own biases or whatever it is, and we've already been become friends or somewhat, pen pal buddies on email. And I'm like, look, what is pointing to me and what upsets me? And, I didn't realize why you were going back to Nonsense the first time we talked, because she really wasn't on my radar. Mm-hmm. When I started digging into her, I was like, it's a complete fallacy. She is lying and people are believing her. But you know what? It takes a while for some people to wake up, kind of like Boston Nick did with Muni. And it is what it is, but a lot of people get duped. I got duped by Dolly Vision. I got duped by Muni. And I didn't think really anything negative until I saw the evidence. And I go, wait, she's plagiarizing even me talking to you. She was watching your stuff. There's no doubt about it.
What nonsense?
Oh, yeah. She was saying shit that I was saying.
Really?
And it was just our first interaction.
Really? She said she
Oh my
doesn't.
God,
She,
she did that to me too.
Yeah,
Oh my
she-
God, that's
She's
she-
a fucking plagiarist.
yeah,
And,
she
you
said she
know,
doesn't have time to watch any stuff. And by the way, I don't give a shit.
Dude,
Can I get in here? Can I get in
Aaron,
here
go
for a
ahead, because I
second?
know she sits there and
Wait,
watches
wait.
everybody else for 6 to 10 hours a day, probably.
I got something just really quick to you.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, I did when we were talking about the letter or whatever lettergate that the Unirock got there, and I sat there going on in my stream about it, like what was this written with invisible ink or something, like that he couldn't send it to anyone because once you took a picture of it, then the letters went away, you know. And I went on about it, making all these jokes. Then the next day she titles her stream something about invisible ink or some shit.
Are you
like
That's a
that.
good
talking about
point.
where you
I'm
said vampire ink?
well,
I'm like, what the fuck nonsense? Get your own jokes.
Yeah,
Are
get
you
your,
talking about where you
get
said
your own
vampire
jokes.
ink?
This is
I
just
can
my
hear it.
opinion, EKC.
Are you referring to where you said vampire ink?
Yes.
Okay.
Aaron,
This is my opinion.
Go
I
ahead.
think she's an energy succubus / energy
Aaron.
vampire, psychic vampire, and she feeds off of this negativity. The more you feed her, either through positivity or negativity, she's going to take that and run with it because she's a horrible human bullying of a.
Yeah, that's all they got.
And
that's
she's
a good
see you
summation.
next time. And was
That's a
it
good
see you
summation.
next Tuesday kind of person? And I don't use that word lightly. I really do not like her, and it's because what I've seen and what I've pulled up and what I've researched about her. She's a lying sack of you know what. She can go F to F off because she's not a good person. And I'm thinking she's in a place that's pretty highly like, what is it? Mormon, LDS. My theory on this is she either was raised in the Mormon belief system or she's still part of it, and it's not.
I don't know if she
really
was
a
Mormon.
good
I
Christian.
was Mormon actually, but I don't know if she was.
I'm not saying.
And I
she
wasn't
is,
raised Mormon.
but
I
she's
joined and
in a
then
heavily
I left, but-
Mormon-dominated town, city, and you know it's the whole saying about the Christianity of do unto others as you would have do unto you. Being a decent person, she's not a decent person. The vile and vitriolness that comes out of that lady's mouth.
She doesn't say she's Christian, does she?
No, she never
Okay.
says it, but where she lives is
Most of the Christians that I know don't adhere to that belief anymore. They just do unto others.
well, the thing is, she's around a lot of LDS members.
Mm.
So I'm sure
didn't
she
know
has
that.
family and friends. And the thing that gets me about it is because, you know, I've worked with Christian cults. I worked for a Christian cult for a little while. And, you know, this whole thing on the Bible, what gets me is that these people that speak like they're Christians or they're around people that are this way, that are supposed to be genuine people that love others without hate. She's the most hateful person I've come across in a minute. I mean, just the stuff that comes out of her mouth. It's like, and she's, I mean.
Oh, and yeah. By the way, I'm not talking. I'm not talking shit about all Christians because most Christians are pretty nice people. It's just
You got
like
bad apples
the
everywhere.
few.
Well, I
Yeah.
worked with a Christian cult, man. I've dealt with some great Christian people. The thing is, I bet dollars where she's living with the amount of Mormons, LDS members she's part of, that family and friends are connected to the LDS church. So you're going to say, you're going to do all this non-Christian stuff and hate on another person and spit all this vileness. That is either sociopath or psychopath.
All right, let me ask you because I think
It's
that
not just
I
the
got
religious
something to say
cult,
about
though.
Unilock, though.
She came from the MLM world too as well.
Oh, that makes
Yes.
sense.
Let me put this
I
out there real
heard
quick, and then
that
Brandon, you know, this goes into what I call the high degree of feigned confidence. If you listen to Unirock, listen to Katie Joy, and listen to Nonsense, they all speak with such an authoritative voice and projection, and if they know what they're talking about and they're confident, yet they're spewing bullshit. This is what you would find for a cult leader. This is exactly what you would find.
Yeah, so, and that wouldn't surprise me if she was part of the
She
Mormon
said
cult.
she said she did. She said she was raised in some kind of cult atmosphere. One
Yeah,
time.
I mean, she was probably raised in the Mormon cult.
Yeah. See, personally,
Now that
I'm
I'm
former Mormon. I don't consider Mormons a cult. I do think the fundamentalist version is a cult, but the actual I had a good experience with the people
No,
themselves.
I have good friends that are in the
Yeah.
Mormon
So I don't call the
church.
Mormons a cult. I understand why some people do. I had a good experience with them. It's just the church itself, I think,
No,
is
I
bullshit.
had a good experience in
But-
what I'm calling a Christian cult that I, was a part of. Like, I wasn't a member, I wasn't a follower of the faith, and I would take what they were saying. I try to take back and try to be a decent person after, they would talk about certain Bible verses and things like that. But I don't want to get in a philosophical
I got
argument
you.
about that. But it's just, it's about learning. and
Domino
it's
Santos
about
de Cristo.
not just spinning out fallacies and faux BS that never happened in the past that I was a part of. That's where I have reckoning issues with this lady, because she was never there. She never experienced what we all experienced. And she needs to shut the fuck up, because she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
That's clear.
All
No,
I'm
I really.
Me and Steve know people who have been part of Christian cults.
Oh, sure.
Like breeding cults, where you're not allowed to wear pants as a woman. You have to wear a dress.
Well, that was some
and shit
fundamental
like
Baptist
that.
stuff.
Was no alcohol, no tobacco, the one that
No
got
coffee.
me was the coffee, of course, but it was this, salt and pepper.
Coffee.
There was no pepper because that was a stimulant.
Stop that!
What? No,
Stop
no,
that!
don't
Wait,
take away pepper.
wait,
Pepper is delicious.
What religion was that?
Her head.
What religion was that? What denomination?
Seventh Day Adventist.
Oh my God! Damn.
Wait, so
Really?
So then they don't have actual stimulants then either?
Yeah, but it was funny because my
I never heard that
coworkers that were Seventh Day Adventists would come in to ask me for my Pepsi in my office.
Wow.
Yeah, and wait till they leave the cults,
I've
and
known-
then they start doing meth or something.
I-
In the Pepsi machine, I'll tell you that. And
they're
was a
all
good
hypocrites. Yeah, when it comes to that, they all drink. I look.
I
I knew
knew
some I knew some diehard Mormons that loved their freaking Coke, Diet Coke, Pepsis. They would drink sodas. Yeah. So, anyways, Brandon, you wanted to say something, and I didn't mean to cut you off. So
Yeah, those are actually audio of Unilock saying he lost his arm and his hip. Hold on, here it is, right here.
I remember something like that.
For my country, I gave my left hip and my right arm for my country.
Yeah, but let me qualify.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Oh my
Hang on.
God.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because again, I like to steal, man. I don't think he actually meant that he lost his arm. What he meant by gave, it means he harmed it, he injured it, right? He gave because it's no longer as functioning as it once was. That's what I think he meant by it. That's what I'm going to steel man him as. He obviously he's not going to say, "Look, I don't have an arm."
Maybe he pulled a joint or something.
No.
But didn't he get hurt in boot camp before he was even stationed anywhere?
There's 4 different stories out there. Okay, so these are the 4 stories that are going around. Okay, the first one is when he originally came on scene. He said that he had a helo accident in a training jump for and it could have been off a helicopter or what's called a training tower for parachuting. You jump off and you learn how to roll. It could have been that, or somebody pushed him. I mean, he's the other 2 things that he said was one, he was injured in an IED explosion in Iraq, and then third was an IED explosion in Afghanistan. And from what I understand, from somebody who knows him and seems to have firsthand information that lives in his city, says none of those were true. He actually was injured on base in a car accident. Somebody hit him on base or something along those lines, which I've actually heard as well before. That's not the first time I've heard that, but I cannot verify that.
That's totally fine too. It's like, don't fucking show me your X-rays.
Sure.
Shrapnel, show me.
Look, it's still VA. It's full. He's on base. He was on duty. So yeah, that's not the point. Stolen valor though is embellishing your record to say that you did something you didn't do. For example, if he says he was injured in a combat zone that he never went to, that's stolen valor. Stolen valor is not merely just saying that you served when you didn't. Stolen valor is saying you've done accomplishments or something in the military that didn't happen. If you were injured in the military and it was a war-related injury, that's a lot different than getting hit by some driver on a base.
Okay,
or a training
side note,
accident.
and I'm not trying to say politics, but it kind of reminds me of a George Santos.
Well, he's got a lot of different stories, doesn't he?
Yeah, dude, that guy could be a whole textbook of scam, grift, and got himself into the House of Representatives and what the fuck.
Yeah, he lied about it. Well, he did say he went to Harvard or something.
He said he was in a rowing, or he was on some sport
Yeah, I
that
remember
wasn't
that,
even part of it. I think it might have been Yale or Harvard though.
Yeah. So
boy.
so let me ask the audience here, because I want to get into part of the discussion of how do we go about combating these types of misinformation, and if anybody's in the audience has had this happen to them by these three, or you've heard something that has not been corrected yet, let me know, because again, I don't want to rehash the fuckery they've done for years, because it's all out there. Erin of all people has these videos. Go watch Erin till you're blue in the face. You could probably watch her videos all night long. I gotta admit, Erin, I come home and you stream late at night and I just lay down, put the earphones in. I have these little earbuds things.
Those videos aren't on YouTube, Steve.
Well, oh shit.
I'm kidding.
Wrong platform.
They're totally.
Next call.
I don't get it either, because it's like there's tons of injuries that you can get from like basic military work.
Oh shit, yeah, dude.
Twisting your ankle, or something like that.
We've all had normal injuries. I mean, I've had to go to everybody goes to medical in the military. You have to. It's 6 years. You're going to have medical issues. You won't get a Purple Heart for being injured in a car. Purple Heart is for actually in a war situation where you're in combat situation, and it has to be a special circumstances as well. There are also things called the Bronze Star, the Silver Star. There's things you can get for combat related injuries. A Purple Heart has some very specific requirements to get. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's you got shot, or they got hit by an IED, or like whatever.
I believe
it's like don't take that away from the vets.
Yeah, go, Erin. What were you gonna say? Or Veda? Sorry, one of you guys were saying.
Yeah, I was just saying that to your first question of the stream, I wanted to comment on. You were saying, how did they get away with it? That we're outnumbered. So if you get a bunch of people they plan their streams around each other, they come up with the same lie to all feed the audience, and that's how they're beating us, is we don't plan our streams around each other.
That's true.
And number two, there's no response right away, so people can decide from one way or another. So they're forced to go with the first narrative.
That is exactly true. And by the way, the two things for the Purple Heart, I knew there was conditions. I wanted to look them up, so I did. One, it has to be the direct or indirect result of enemy action. Two, it has to be the wound required treatment by a medical officer at the time of injury. So basically, if you're on the battlefield and then you take a bullet and there's a medic there and it gives you immediate aid, that's Purple Heart. So there are some very specific conditions, and it has to be enemy fire, and it has to be, again, on some kind of a battlefield or in the conditions where you have a medic. And by the way, I maybe I'm misremembering, and I will take that hit if I am. But does anybody else remember him mentioning that he did some medical stuff in the army, or is it just me? Does anybody else remember Unirock ever mention anything medical?
Was he claiming he was a medic?
I don't. Maybe I'm misremembering that, because I remember he said he was medevaced out, but I, for some reason, remember him saying something about medical, and I don't have the details. Anybody else remembers and can find the clip? Let me know. But again, I'm not going to put that out there as like fact.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Like, I never served, but I'm a licensed and certified medical technician.
Maybe he was just talking about being medic backed out. Maybe that's the case. Again, I'm a steel man. I'm a steel man.
He definitely said that.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of bullshit too. If he was medevaced out, and there's no record of that, that's bullshit. That would be a record of that. And by the way, the FOIA. Let me clear this up for people that don't know. You cannot FOIA a DD-214. However, there are certain things in the DD-214 that's information that's considered public. And on the Queen's channel, there was this guy, I think his name was Alonzo or something. He was a military intelligence person. That dude knew what he was talking about. He was spot on. I didn't hear him say anything that even questioned. And he was exactly right, because people were saying, you can't FOIA information about military. Yes, you can. It just has to be very, very precise. And again, it's basically all you can find out is if somebody served, where their duty stations are, the job functions, and things of that nature. You can't get much more specifics than that. But yes, you can FOIA certain information from the DD-214. You just can't get a copy of it unless the person is deceased and their next of kin. That's
Has
really
anybody done that?
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's confirmed by DOD. It's researchable.
Yeah, no, yes, there are people that have asked for FOIA requests. I'm not
Daniel
one of them.
Cooper said at Steve, you are maybe you're confusing
I
JM
know,
Truth
I remember
with
JM Truth now.
medic and a modified sniper.
No, I remember that. Yeah, he was a modified sniper, and people were like, "What does that even mean?" I still don't even know. I'm not even joking.
What is he? Was he Vasily Zaitsev?
Yeah, what is a mod? Peter Harrington, come on, stream here and tell me what the hell is a modified sniper, anyways? I never did figure out what the hell he meant by that. I'm legit.
Hey, I'm gonna pop off
right.
and listen. You
All right.
guys have a great rest of your night.
Curious, we appreciate all you've added, and you know, I mean this from.
You have a good night.
I mean this sincerely.
Good night. Nice meeting you.
I'm so happy.
Bye.
I'm so happy you're able to figure out Uni's true motives and do what was right. I really do mean that. I mean, seriously,
Again,
that's not lip
it's
service.
research, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna toot my own horn about my expertise, but
you were also a sniper.
A modified sniper.
No, I never was in the military. Like but I mean, there's a whole backstory, Steve. Try to find that email I sent you with the receipts. Write me back, and I'll tell you a little bit more.
Honestly,
maybe we can talk offline.
I'm losing my mind here because I just refreshed it and I'm not seeing anything.
Can you put in the private chat your email, and then I'll.
Yeah, I don't even put it in private chat. I put it in the live chat. I don't mind. It's like I said, I use
I'll
this
do
for
that
everything.
when I can pop off, and then I can send you the receipts.
And do you have
I have a whole story of why.
You have Twitter, right?
Yeah, but I keep it locked down because otherwise I'll get flags and.
Sure, but you can DM me through Twitter. I'm almost everything through Twitter. So much easier. Twitter's so much easier for me.
You can always. I'll invite all of you to my server.
Let me get into
It's where me and my comedian buddies hang out.
Hold on, Steve.
It's very secure.
Where are you putting that? Live chat or the private chat?
Let me try finding your.
I put it in the live chat. I don't care, but that's a public server, a public email. I use it for all kinds of stuff.
That's the one I emailed you.
I don't. And why am I not seeing it?
Just look for Curious Idea.
Curious. All right, I'm searching for Curious. Curiosity. Word genius. I'm not.
Well, just search for receipts. It should be one of the newest ones that came up.
Maybe it went to my spam folder.
In the subject line?
I found it. Guess where it went to?
Where?
Spam. I swear.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you can pull up that receipt.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna report it as not spam. Yeah, it went to my spam account. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Look at it. Look at that receipt.
I have a lot of filters and shit like that, so I apologize. I get a lot of shit mail from people, and so
while you're doing that. Yeah. While you're doing that, we'll go ahead and go to the next question while you're doing that.
Please do that.
What is your what do you have next?
Who, me?
What
or
did you
them?
have next?
Who?
Did you have a list out or?
What was the my list there? Yeah, you guys can talk about the next one while I do this. I'm so sorry. Like I said,
I wanted to pop off, Steve, real quick, but if you can show that receipt when you.
Yeah, I'll show it. I'll take it in.
And then I'll pop off after that.
Yeah, I think we've already gone through my list. I think it's more like how do we combat it as a group because this affects everybody, and how do we prevent them from doing this to other people? So, you talk about that.
We all need to stay together. We all need to plan our streams around each other. Like Erin, do one topic that relates to mine, and then like that. Me and Erin did that one week, and we did really good. I would go live, and then she'd bounce. We did like the Danielle donation thing. I did some of it, and then boom, she went live and showed in detail reading posts and things because I'm not good at narrating like she is. And it worked well. And then everybody caught on to the Danielle part that fast.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a need to stick together. And by the way, you want me to show both of these? Curious, which is fine.
No, just the Amazon.
Just
receipt.
the Amazon.
The other
receipt.
one is just how I took down Reddit.
I see the subreddit. Yeah, I'll show the Amazon receipt here in a second. Yeah, okay. I'm bringing it up, but I think you're definitely right. It's going to take a community of people to and not just our community, other communities as well, to say, look, enough's enough. Unirock nonsense, Katie Joy, you've lied about people for so long. We're going to make sure that when you go to another community, you talk about something that people are going to find out about your fuckery. Again, if they start talking about the true stuff, you can't really say much about them, which is never going to happen. I don't give a shit if all three of them start going, and doing actual facting and stuff. They're still going to be pieces of shit. But the facts remain is the historical things that they have done. They've smeared people, they defame people, they've libeled people. That's never going to go away. People are going to need to be reminded of that. And I hate to say it, but in perpetuity. People get that joke.
Hey, Erin.
Yeah.
It's a joke there.
Did you hear?
I get it.
Like, I think that Unirock, like him and T-Sphere teamed up and did a live. I think they all plan their lives within each other. And if we started doing that, you know how we did like with Danielle, where I did a stream and then you followed me with showing the details of the group and all that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea too. I don't have the time for it, but you guys should.
We can all take the same evidence or proof or a bit of information. We all have our different takes on it. So I think, whether we split up the points of interest to show, or we just all share the same shit, but give it our own, point of view.
We're not an echo
either way, I
chamber.
think it'll be beneficial.
Really, we're
And
not.
like you did the other day, I'm going to jump off you. When you
We're not.
you were showing how Steve got framed with the threatening emails, and you read Nat and Katie's emails together. I was going to jump off you and show how those emails were spoofed and how they framed him with those.
Okay, so real quick, I'm showing the outside the Amazon thing.
Wait. The emails between Steve between Katie and Nat.
Those are real.
Yeah, those are real.
The ones between Katie and Nat and Steve.
Oh yeah, we already because I never messaged her, so we know those are fake.
So Steve, I only meant to send $120. I accidentally fucked up and sent $240. I had a car accident.
It's all right. That can be corrected.
But going back to like, how do you educate people? It really needs to be almost like a slide deck, where you can talk about the history. You talk point by point, one topic per screen, right? And you go through the history of all this stuff, because a lot of people are either watching this passively. They don't know about Steve like myself. Like, I just popped on because it was something that I needed to talk to a couple weeks ago, but I really didn't have opinion of him. And what I was seeing, some of it was concerning. When I saw the Nate video, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh,
and then
Nate. Oh yeah. Well, do you know the history between Nate and I? Because we go back 5 or 6 years.
Let's just get back to the topic, though. Is that a lot of people either are working full-time jobs, they're doing it for entertainment, they're not really seeing it. So when you're talking about the normal lay person, they're not going to really understand the nitty-gritty.
Right.
You got to keep it simple for these people.
I agree with you.
It's kind of like
nor should they.
Such a clusterfuck.
I've been told that over and over. So you're right. Most people don't know, and even though we assume everybody knows what the drama is and what's going on, they don't.
Well, this goes, hang on. This goes back to the historical thing and how much the amount of information. Like, you may not have realized, but like I said, Nate came from the Nate Great Debate community. Nate made a name himself off the back of the Great Debate community, which is on every one of my streams. He and I were friends at one time 5 or 6 years ago, and then I said the same thing about him that I did with Unirock. He was shady. He was trolling. He was going into my Facebook page, making fake accounts. He was trolling a dear friend of mine. This is facts and evidence. I have videos on this. And I wanted nothing to do with the guy. And he got teamed up with Unirock to smear me to no end for years. So I will be straight up. Nate is a dishonest fuck.
The only thing I knew about Nate was I was following the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff. And that's when I just
right. And he got popular off that later on, but there's a long history there. And again, I don't expect people to get into it.
But I'm saying there's so many facets, there's so many whack-a-moles, there's so many different stories of different people's takes. So when Nonsense per se is talking about all this stuff that happened to us years ago, she can never produce receipts.
Because she wasn't there, and she can't get the information right. She gets a second hand, third hand from people. And here's the fun fact: you guys remember, Nate got all the information about the lawsuit that I was in with Kyle wrong, willfully wrong, and he's a lawyer. He got his he meant to get his legal advice wrong. I have a long document that I was going to send to New York. What is the bar? I have a report on Nate that I was going to report to the bar. This was not a joke. I have a very long Google document of all the things that he had said. Speaking about being, a lawyer off capacity, because again, even if you're a lawyer, you cannot put out misinformation about legal stuff. And I was going to report him to the bar, and my lawyer was like, you know what, you can. But the problem is, if he's not your lawyer, they're not going to take much action on it. But I have a document of all the fuckery that Nate did and all the things he said about my court case as a lawyer that he got wrong when he was trying to evaluate it, because he was doing so on purpose. That's fact. That's fact.
And it just gives me a critical eye when I see some of the stuff. I mean, there are certain topics I do like him covering. But after I saw certain things with the whole thing with the rapist and all that fuckery, I asked you, and you've disavowed that, and that should be enough, right?
Because they don't care about that.
We talked about it today, where you're like, this whole thing with the rapists and stuff, they're on a different topic, but it's like, you make one mistake, you learn from it, you acknowledge it, and the thing about this one pocket with Union is Katie Joy and all these people, they can never admit to fucking up,
Well,
right?
they will small things, and the reason why they do that, they're like, "Oh, look, I made a mistake, and I'll admit to it." But the actual like, look at the whole thing with Unirock right now, where he's claiming he was doxxed by JLR and that he was, the handwritten letter and all that shit. He's not admitting to any of that. He's straight out tripling, quadrupling down on that.
Well, and then people are going
Stopped himself many
other
times.
channels trying to figure out what the hell is going on with the story. So they're bouncing from channel to channel, video to video to see what other people's takes are. And it's all drama. It's all wrapped up in this clusterfuck of shit lying. And these people, like, it's about having a critical eye. But I don't think a lot of people have an IQ to fucking save their lives. And they're just not
That's the
rubbing
people.
brain cells.
These people are rolling around in fucking dog turds.
Well,
they enjoy it because it's making their money. Drama makes money.
That's the people that Unirock cultivates. Like,
yeah,
literally cultivates.
and at the time when I was, the whole thing with I come from technology and social media and stuff like that. So when Isaac got on the scene, I was like, I don't think this group realized that they'd have an IT expert like monitoring this shit. And that's what happened. That's how I got sucked into it, because I was passively watching the QAnon stuff. And then I'm seeing this guy I was like, how do I know this guy? So I've never really been personal friends with him. He used to be a hipster that would hang out at Bert's Tiki Lounge and Atomic Cantina, which is shut down on Gold Street in Albuquerque. Like, that's how I knew of Isaac in passing. I always thought he was weird and a fucking hipster. And somehow I get into this fucking rabbit hole, right? And so I even went off on Lift the Veil Nathan recently, and I have the fucking screenshots. He's like, come on my show. I was like, you can go F the F off. Like, I don't do this kind of shit because, it brings in the views. We go back to the views, the clicks, the donos. That's all it is.
This video is demonetized, so I didn't get a fuck all from it, and I don't want it. I want the information out there. Yeah, so that very reason, you're right. I thank you again. Seriously though, thank you. Thank you for doing your due diligence. Yeah.
I mean, I just want the truth
right,
out there, and there's so many people being hoodwinked by this BS. I was hoodwinked by Dolly Vision. I was hoodwinked by Uni, and a smart person like me can be hoodwinked by these people. I can easily see why the normal lay person just doesn't have the time to do all this research, or they don't know how to research this stuff, and they're just spitting out bullshit.
No, you're 100% right, and that's why I'm saying go where the evidence is. Ask for evidence, and thank you for joining the panel.
I always try to show it in detail. I always try to break it down.
Evidence is critical.
Beta, EKC,
No, it's
stand up. I'll message you.
We all got kids. We all got responsibilities. I don't understand how you'd have time for it.
Nobody has time for everything.
I'll message you about the stand up, and I'll send you photos of my puppy later.
Oh, puppies! We love puppies.
Yeah, I'll send you. I think
What were you about to say?
Puppies are awesome.
right now.
Thank you,
It's
Curious.
only 3 months.
Now that means a lot, and this is going back to the whole combating this stuff. The best way I think to combat it is ask for evidence, right? I mean, people look. We all have too much evidence. I get that, but at least we have evidence. When you go to nonsense, hey, nonsense. Where's the evidence? People are messaging you. Where's the evidence for any of this? She's got fuck all, and all she does is lump us into a bunch of other people doing fuckery that came out 3 years ago that has nothing to do with us. Nothing fucking to do with us, but we're in that they. And when you say, well, what is it that Steve's done? What is it?
Quick,
Yeah.
be looking for me because I'm going to swap to my phone, so I got to drive somewhere. So I'm going to step down and come right back up in a minute.
All right. But when you ask nonsense, and I have asked her, what is it you think Erin, Veda, myself, any of us have done? I mean, give us specifics here. You cannot address something if you don't have the specifics. And you never get any from her. She never shows anything.
I know they're coming for all of us in one way or another.
Well, they've been doing that, but I mean,
fake litigation or whatever.
They can't go for anybody with. I mean, first of all, there's nothing to them do like TOS or anything like that. They did that with Molly. They went after her.
They're too fucking stupid to figure out who I am, so I'm not that worried.
I don't think they've ever mentioned your name. They don't know who you are.
Yeah, barely anyone does.
Yeah, but I mean, like Erin, they go after Erin, and what do they think Erin has done so egregious? Please let me know. As a matter of fact, I love the fact that Erin was able to go on the Queen Bee stream on the Hive, and they gave her the ability to stick up for herself and spit the facts. I admired that. That was actually very, very nice of them. And you talked about the phone calls to the brewery, which I remember very, very well. You were exactly right on that. And they listened to you on that. That was very nice of them.
Yeah, dude, there was I wish all channels did that, especially in this community, because like,
and we're doing that right
there
now.
were-
Come on our panel. Exactly. Come on.
There was, let's be
Ask.
honest, there, you know, Katie's #1 soccer troll, or however you want to call it, who spreading that, saying, oh, what Erin EKC goes real life. She called Todd's employer or whatever. I'm like, none of that is true.
None of that is
Like,
true.
I
Not a
didn't call
damn bit of it.
anyone, and this was not a previous employer or a present employer or anything. This wasn't an employer. This was a brewery who was refusing to report.
And it was an
threatening
email.
phone
It wasn't a
calls.
call. There was a caller.
Right, but it wasn't me. I sent one email.
Right.
It's
but
it.
that's all it takes. But this is what I'm saying. This is exactly the Katie Joy playbook. It takes one little kernel of something for them to have a whole spin of yarn out of it. Right? An email turns into a phone call. A phone call turns into a death threat. It's like, what the fuck? And so, yeah, she never called it the brewery. I don't know who did. There was a lady's voice that had a very strong twang to it.
We have.
I don't think it's actually a crime to call someone's place of employment.
This was pretty egregious phone calls. These were pretty egregious phone calls.
like it's not a good thing, but like if you're not trying to defame them or something like that, then
these were pretty nasty phone calls. Not gonna lie.
Oh,
yeah. But again, they try to lump that into to say, oh look, it was Erin calling them. No, that never happened.
Katie played a couple of voicemails, and whoever was that called this brewery, and now, mind you, the owner of this brewery was also the owner of the record label that Katie's husband's new album was coming out on that day. That day was the album was being dropped. So she goes on and on about how this brewery, which is also owned by the record label, was getting these threatening phone calls for Katie Joy. And one of them said, Katie Joy's a bitch and she needs to die or some shit like that. And I'm like, oh my God. And then she's like, they're not reporting it to the police. And I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't they report that to the police?
No, and you're dead serious about that.
There should be a record of it that she could report.
Erin wanted
hang on. That's freaking ridiculous. So I sent one email. I'm like, can I ask you why you're not reporting this to the police? I mean, this is your...
Erin, you were serious about that. You wanted to know. This is not fuckery. This is not, I mean, I look, Erin and I, and it's completely different people. She was really curious about this. She wanted to know why the fuck this didn't go. Why? I think it should have gone to the police. I want the police to investigate this shit. That's why I think that she was contacting him and saying, look, we want answers to this shit too. Why are you not investigating this? She had the purest intention in this. I know this. And yet Katie Joy tries to spin it into something completely fucking different. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Because like when I went up on Queen Bee's channel there, and I pointed out to them, I'm like, I never told a soul that I did this, that I sent this one email. I didn't tell anyone.
It was after the fact.
Know about it because Katie Joy fucking outed it like a month later.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think won them over. I think they were like, oh, wow, yeah, no, this wasn't for a clout or attention or to troll or to dox or whatever. Nobody even fucking knew you did it.
Right. So, yeah. And I think that kind of backfired on her a little bit, but she does pop up in live chats or some minion of hers every time.
Is she the one who's drunk a bunch of times
on Instagram? Yeah. But there's two main narratives that they run for Erin. Anytime Erin's around and goes on panel, you'll see these trolls and fake names come around, and there's two. They'll talk about the whole, oh, she read a rape report, which didn't happen. Oh, she called a brewery, which didn't happen. These are go-tos. And this is why I'm saying, if ever that comes up again, just show them to this video to this timestamp. That's it. That's all you got to do to respond. Oh, this is bullshit. It didn't happen here. Go check this out. That's it. That way you're not being sea-lined, because that's all they want. They want a distraction. Anytime Erin starts talking about anything of relevance, right, they'll be like, oh, but what about this again? And, like the Holy Spack was infamous for this on your channel. You still are around. I don't know why, but she does this. She'll keep bringing up that old stuff every time to deflect from what's going on.
Obfuscation of the truth.
No, I allow anyone to come in the chat if they want to talk about whatever it is we're talking about and they want to participate. But no, I've since, and for some time now, and they're going to come into the chat and they're going to just start fucking dropping shit about lobsters or McRape reports or whatever, they're coming in there to troll just to cause that kind of, I don't know, incendiary shit. Then no.
They're raping lobsters?
But why would you?
I just ban them now.
You just ban them. Okay. So, I mean,
yeah.
But is Holy Spackle banned?
Well, no, because she hasn't done that since I made this rule.
I see. But you understand why I have her banned, right?
Right. No, I understand why you do. Yeah. No, I totally get it.
Yeah. She. And again, what's so funny? Somebody mentioned to me, well, these are the three main characters: Unirock, Unibeck, as you call her, or I call her Unirock 2.0, aka Nonsense, or Katie Joy. These are the three primary, but there's a lot of underlings. And they're like, well, why don't you talk about like AZ or something like that? It's like, well, because if you take what we're saying now, you can apply it to them just as easily. AZ, Holy Spackle, all of them. There's just, it's not, I don't even want to dedicate any time to them because all they are just copycats. They're just trolls. And they admit it. I mean, how many times has Holy Spackle admitted she's just trolling? She doesn't care.
Copy of a copy of a copy.
AZ, I think, just likes to follow the path of least resistance. And
Julie Virgo, another one. Yeah, people are asking about that. It's like, she's back with Unirock kind of stuff. It's like, does she ever leave?
Yeah.
Kimomaki, godless girl gets your good deal on lobster. That's an inside joke if I've ever seen it.
That's what kills me about Navy is he pretended to disconnect with or distance himself from Uni and how he broke up with Uni for one day just to go up on Queen Bee's panel and then boom, he was friends with him again.
Yeah, explain that to me. Navy Tech signed off on all the bullshit that Unirock had done, all the narratives that I shot Kyle's house, that I killed my producer, all this bullshit. He signed off on all of that bullshit. And all of a sudden, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, where he's like, I can't agree with Unirock, and all of a sudden he's back with him again? Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I think Menace just has too much invested in this whole like anti-Steve like.
Well, that was Navy. You want to talk about Menace? Menace is a different case.
Walk away now.
Menace is a whole different ball game. Menace. You got, and let's remember, Menace was the one, and this is facts and evidence. Menace was the one that said he literally watched Kyle Curtis log into his bank account with the lawyer that he didn't have. I guess at the time maybe he did have that lawyer, so I won't say that. But there was no bank account. That is fact. There was never a bank account. He did lie about that, but he never corrected that. He literally tried to lie for Kyle, saying, well, I was there when Kyle logged into his bank account with his lawyer. No, you didn't. The lawyer quit because Kyle was lying to her. And and this is a fun fact, and I could probably find the emails, but my lawyer had said he wanted Kyle to log in during his deposition to prove that he had a bank account. And his lawyer said, yeah, that's fine. And Kyle was like, no, I'll do it later on with my lawyer, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, don't, go ahead and do it now. And Unirock's, not Unirock, but Menace's Bride was just like, yeah, I watched him do it. You lying piece of shit. You lying piece of shit. That you never saw that. And he never retracted that. He never talks about it. But that was true. Yeah, he did say that. Anyway, what's all the background noise? Is that Beta?
That's not me.
I know it's not you. It's a lot back. Anyways,
it's me. I got it off. Sorry.
That's okay. But I still love, before we end this, I really love for people to ask questions that they never got answers for before. We're an open book. The panel's open. Come join. Again, we don't have to rehash the old shit. We got many videos on that. But obviously, there are people that believe their narratives for quite some time. I mean, even just recently, a person who I am not a fan of. I dislike them immensely. They do not like me at all. But even we were able to have a communication because both of us were getting fucking misinformation. And that was Estelle, aka Kira Dominique. And I had messaged people, look, Estelle is I don't like her. She has done some shady shit. Here's her name. And people are either using her name or it is her. And so I was able to message her on a live chat. And I think it was Erin, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it was, because she was a member of your channel. And I reached out to her. And I was like, straight up, I'm like, Stella, I look, we're not friends. We're never going to get along. But I want to know if somebody's using your name. I want to know if you were doing this to troll. And she's usually pretty direct on that. And I think she was brutally honest. She's like, no, Steve, this has fuck all to do with me. I don't know who's doing this, but it's not me. And she's like, if I come after somebody who's going to direct, it's kind of her. And I believe her. But there is somebody who knows these names that's starting up fuckery again. They know about Estella. They know about, aka Kira Dominique. They know about Nat. They know about Erica. These names ring a bell to certain people going back a lot of years. They're coming back around, and Unirock nonsense and Katie Joy, for some reason, I think they were involved in them before. They have to be involved somehow. I just don't know to what extent. But fuckery is afoot. And
I appreciate them being forward like that. Like, wear your balls on your shoulder. Yeah, no, look, I respected that. Look, exactly. Look, I believed, I know Estella well enough to know that if she's going to come after somebody, she's going to fucking do it balls deep, and she wants you to know it's her. I get that. Okay, and that's why I was like, you know what? I don't have to like her. She doesn't have to like me. But I did find out that people told her some bullshit information, and she recognized it to be bullshit information that she believed about me at the time. And she's like, she no longer believes it, and I apologize to her for certain things. And we'll go our separate ways, go with God, right? But I think there's probably a lot of people in that similar situation that have heard things about me or other people
that they believed, merely because, as we pointed out, there's so much information out there and so much history, it's hard to get to the facts. And that's what I led people to come and ask me for evidence. I'll give them the documents, and we have panels like this, and we have opportunities like EKC streams and Veda streams where people can go and say, hey, I have a question to ask you, and not so much about the older shit, but about newer stuff even, because the older shit has been addressed. We know Unirock, Katie Joy nonsense lies. We know that. But if there's new fuckery afoot, that needs to be addressed. For example, the new fuckery about nonsense saying I'm somehow messenger her and harass her, that's new fuckery. Where's the evidence for this? Anyone? Yeah, it's silence, right? I mean, there is none. There is none.
I'm sorry.
So I was just giving you space.
Over here and home for a second. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What? Oh, she said what? And by the way, there are people out there that are actually vouching for Estella, people that I know decently enough, not personally. I don't know Alice very well. We mention each other on Twitter. I seem to agree with a lot of things she has to say, but I don't think I really have any direct communications with Alice that much. The Black Wolf, Mr. Black Wolf, him I do have communications with. I like him a lot, but we've never been on panel together, I don't think. We're just people on Twitter. And yet they vouch for Estella kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, look, if you guys both believe it's not Estella, let's go with this. These are working theories. And let me ask Estella directly. And it was her. It was definitely her. She knew things that, nobody else would even know about. So I did determine it was her. And yeah, I believe she's not involved in any fuckery, but she is pissed that somebody is using her name. But that narrows it down to a very small group of people that's using Estella's name to do some fuckery by sending people messages.
Whoever it is, they're threatening to frame me with threatening emails if I don't leave Steve and Erin. It's basically narrow, and now they've tried to involve my mod Megan. So whoever it is has something against Megan, Steve, and Erin, and they're like threatening me over and over. I've gotten 16 emails since the
Megan's
night
my mod too. Yeah, and Megan is what's so funny is I don't think I've ever I don't remember talking to Megan directly, but she has always been the kindest on Twitter.
Yeah,
always been kind.
She is.
Always been kind. I've never seen her do anything or say anything that isn't kind. I've
become best friends with her, and I mean, I love her to death. And for them to, it was hard to figure.
Oh, you dropped out. By the way, I'm kind to me, at least. I mean, I don't know how she is with other people, but Megan has always been kind to me. But you're dropping out. Veda?
So I was saying it's somebody that doesn't like Steve and Erin, and Megan specific.
Yeah, like I said, it's narrowing it down to a small group of people. But yeah, my thing is if you get messages from people that doesn't sound right, contact us. I will tell you if I send something or not. I have no problems about it. But we know for a fact that when Nat was around, she was sending stuff through a remailer, and she was using my address as a return email address to make it sound like I was sending these messages. This is when this is exactly though when Salsi, which was the lawyer in the Toddy Westbrook case, messaged a tweet on Twitter saying, "Hey Steve, FYI, there's fake emails that are going around that are using your name. I have about 60 of them that I had put out long after the fact. I didn't put them out before. They went to my spam folder. Again, I have filters. But when I found them, I was like, holy shit. And it was long after the fact. But this is what he was referring to. I've absolutely no doubt because these are fake messages, and these are starting to come about again, from what I understand. And
yeah, and I don't think it's Nat. I think it's somebody else because she doesn't talk about her. She doesn't talk about her DID or none of that stuff. It's not her.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is either. But Nat is more than one person now. Nat has morphed into a group. I'm almost positive.
They might have some little goblins wandering around.
Yeah. Nat was pretending to be a lot of people. But that was before this new iteration. This is actually even worse fuckery because this is somebody using the boogeyman Nat to scare people. And there's only a handful of people that I think are that level that are willing to have some kind of a diversion from the Unirock nonsense and Katie Joy shit. There's only a handful of people.
We know who they are. We know who it is.
Oh, I have a damn good idea, and I'll even say who I think. I think it absolutely has to do with the pork chop Keon Shen's that whole group of people. Now, I'm not saying it's one or specific, but that whole group of people, we already know they've lied and had false accounts before. That's in fact and evidence. They admitted to this. This is not even a matter of question of subjectivity. They were like, yeah, these are my, Keon has like, oh, these are my fake accounts. We know pork chop trying to pretend to be Nat. These are, again, they don't deny this, but again,
you're making me hungry for pork chops and applesauce again.
But Nat is a multi-user. Yeah, those accounts have been used by more than one person. But so was the Gumby account, and the Gumby account's coming back around now too. The multiple ones. Who were the ones behind that? Pork chop and Keon. These are again facts and evidence. This is not subjectivity.
Yes.
This is objective
I mean,
fact.
it's common sense of who's doing this. I mean, they act like it's so hard. It's easy to figure it out. But me, I'm not interested in the dealers. I'm interested in the kingpin.
Yeah, and I'm interested in the people that buy into their bullshit. I want them to come directly to me and to us.
Okay.
If you hear anything about any of us, just come to us directly. If you see a screenshot, come to us directly. But the problem is that the people in other communities who haven't been through this before, they're like, oh, I'm getting all these threatening emails. Yeah, it's all bullshit. These are all just fucking trolls fucking with people. That's all it's ever been. But this is what nonsense tries to do and says,
I feel like that's almost an insult to Michael Clark Duncan, who was the real kingpin.
I know Mark.
so
I know Duncan. Isn't he die? Isn't he dead?
I have to get going.
I think he did die. You guys can all hit me up in the DMs. I'll send you all invites to my private server.
All right. Erin, you got to go?
Yeah, I have to go. My son and I, we're gonna go out to karaoke. So
do it. Yeah, nice. No, I'll tell you what.
Sweet.
Onyx, I'll put if you make a special playlist, I'll put it in there. If not, just put a link to your video channel, which I think I already have in the video description. But I did tag you in it. But I want to thank you for seriously all the effort you do to go into fixing these fucking misinformations that people put out by just putting out the actual truth. I mean, that's the best you can do. I know it gets tiring, and I know that you've suffered personal things because these people. This is a lot of fucking bullshit that people deal with these people. Yeah, it really is. It can get to you. But Erin has always been forthright, always been straight up, and I respect that. So go sub to her. I would rather even watch her shit than my shit on this stuff. To be honest with you, she's good.
Bye, guys.
All right. Good night. All right.
Yeah, for good night.
All right. Anyways, I'm getting gushy there. But does anybody? What's surprising that we don't have more questions in the live chat. People, I think that either people are already aware of the fuckery and they already know the answers, but there's nobody coming over from other communities going, hey, we are curious about this. Because I think they know. I think they know that Nonsense, Unirock, and Katie Joy are the three main disinformation people. I asked, hey, look, if you're a supporter of them, let's have a conversation. Nobody ever takes me up on that. I tagged Heels in the air, and she said,
maybe the viewership isn't what you really want, but
well, no, that's not that. No.
I've seen a couple of the videos that not just because I was there, not to suck my own dick, but you get pretty good views.
Well, it's not about the views. No, it's not that. I think you misunderstand me. It's interesting to note that you don't have a lot of people that are Unirock supporters, Nonsense supporters, or Katie Joy supporters ever coming over and going, hey, I've heard this. Let's talk about this. You don't see them talking, so most of them I just don't think care. I think a lot of them know they're full of shit and they just want it for the entertainment value. There's really not many other reasons why they would listen to them.
I think they'd be scared to actually
well, they should be.
Just to sit down and have a conversation like adults.
Yeah, I have facts.
They benefit too somehow.
But here's the thing: Heels in the Air can come over and have a conversation. The Good Nunya can come over and have a conversation. They won't do it. Why won't they?
No,
what are
they
and I don't care if they get monetization or views or whatever. Just come by and sit down and let's talk.
Yeah, Heels is probably the QB right now, but she's busy. Yeah, no, they'll never do it. They'll never do it because what is that background noise?
Do you have any honey mustard on?
Sorry. Oh my God, I can't. Sorry, Vita. But yeah, they won't do it because if Heels in the Air or Nunya came over here and we started just giving them facts, they would have to come to terms with reality that the persons they're modding for and supporting are just not good people. And either they would either go, okay, I've learned that these are shitty people and Curious Idea and leave. Or they'd be like, you know what, we just don't care. They want to fit in. They want to feel like they're accomplishing something. They want to feel like they're important. They want to be respected. And so I think they're just doing it, just be accepted somewhere. I mean, look at how many times Julie Virgo has just flip-flopped from one community to the next. She wants to be accepted because
the best course of action is honesty and conversation.
For us, yes, but not for them. They look, Unirock. I'm just going to call them the Unholy Trinity. They have no reason to be honest. Yeah, they don't want honesty. They eschew honesty. Honesty to them is kryptonite. They are not good people, as Frankie says. They are not. And this is funny because Nonsense is taking that script and flipping it. She's projecting on that. She's like, "Oh, those people are there. They're dangerous. Who the fuck is dangerous?" Here's my question: what the fuck have we done that is dangerous? Please tell me. They're the ones that put out misinformation about people. They're the ones smearing people. They're the ones saying that we've done shit we didn't do. How is that not dangerous? That is extremely dangerous because there are some fucking psycho people out there that will go in real life if they think that you are some kind of bad person.
Oh yeah,
and they make egregious claims. They're also topping us because they're making the most egregious claims, and we're not willing to do that. We're not willing to go live and say Unirock's a rapist or anything like that, like they are.
Absolutely. And do you remember? I had somebody call. I'm not even joking. I had somebody call the FBI. The FBI saying that I was doing some fucked up shit. And I finally, a year later, was able to confront the person. And I asked him, what the fuck you have possibly told the FBI about me that of anything that I've done? He's like, well, I just told him what Kyle said. Oh, they're going to give it
oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I was ill, actually.
Yeah. And so, the FBI's going to be like, well, this is hearsay. And we all know Kyle lied. So this fucker literally called the FBI, giving him misinformation that Kyle said and never apologized for it, never fucking retracted it. And yet that's not going in real life. You were there, Brandon. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Hand to God, am I embellishing in any way, or am I not telling the truth?
Not at all.
I'm the only felon here, as far as I know.
Yeah, I've never.
So it was like, come on.
I have no record. Yeah, I've never been arrested. Yeah, Misty remembers, and again, I don't even want to tell the person's name because I don't want to even give them attention. But yes,
see who does that? Who does that? I mean, come on.
Sycophants. These are sick fucking people that would do this. And so when Nonsense says when they go real, it's them, they go real life, they're dangerous. Okay, ask them why. Nonsense loves the vagueness. She loves the fact she'll never actually say, this is what they've done, here's the evidence, and actually make an argument. Nope, it's not that. It's just them. This amorphous, nondescript thing out there in the atmosphere of them. It's like who the fuck is them? But I gotta admit, at least she manned up and at least said a direct claim to me that I was messaging her and I was harassing her. Okay, produce receipts on that, please. Please go ahead, Nonsense. You have my permission. Release anything I've ever sent you. Go ahead, which is zero. I give you my permission.
She went live today and said she's done with us completely.
Oh,
she's not put our names in her chat, or she's blocking them. It's because she knows that we're coming back at her. That's why.
Yeah. Because people are asking questions, especially when it comes to Katie Joy 2.0, when she's like, oh, you're going to lie about Steve and say that he's harassed you? Let's have receipts this time. Because the people that asked Katie Joy for receipts, they all got blocked. What's happened to people asking Nonsense for probably? They're going to block too.
You're going to get blocked.
Yeah. And here I am.
And it's proven.
I'm giving permission.
She made a claim about a girl, and the girl, someone went on panel and confronted her about it, and she's like, well, get the girl to send me proof, and I'll talk to her. The girl sent her the proof, and the message Nonsense wrote back was, don't ever contact me again, and blocked her.
Right. Now, look, that's their style. And this is what I'm saying. Go ahead. Release any message you have. Go ahead. And by the way, if I'm such a horrible person, wouldn't all these people having so many messages from me but they don't exist? Why is that?
You've never messaged Nonsense, right? Like you've never DM'd her.
Nope. Not email, not Twitter DM, not Facebook, nothing. The only contact I've ever had with that woman was on my community page where I tagged her in one of my videos that said, okay, I'm, whatever message to whatever. And so I tagged her on that.
Totally innocuous. Like,
you think? It's still there on my community tab.
Like you weren't trying to hurt her.
No, it was just, I made a video about you on your calling out on your bullshit. I was like the cesspool or something that I did. But yeah, for her to say that, oh, when a woman says somebody's messaging me and I've asked them to stop and my significant other has to get involved, you know what that sounds like to other women? She knows exactly what she's trying to do. That's some bullshit narrative.
Like, people are going to assume that you were like sending like pictures of your cock and balls and shit like that to them.
That's what she's trying to run. That's because her just following, they're not going to ask those kind of questions because as we pointed out, it's just way too much information. They're not going to investigate that.
To make you the enemy.
Yeah.
She calls us single white females or whatever. Bitch, keep our name out of your damn mouth and quit lying on us and you won't get a response. You shut up, we'll shut up. It's not that hard.
It's fine with me. Although I got to tell you though, if she starts lying about other people, I might get back involved. But she's her talking about you, me, and Erin. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say something. And again, what she doesn't understand is the three of us have very different views on things, and that's perfectly fine. We don't want the groupthink that the Unholy Trinity have, because they're working in unison with each other in a lot of capacities, and they will go against each other publicly. But I think that's all show. I really do. I think that they probably all hate each other, but they all use each other as some kind of weird symbiotic relationship. But I don't think they get along. Like you and I, we can disagree on stuff. But hang on. I'm talking.
Drunk most of the time.
But like Veda and I adore Veda, and she knows that. We don't have to agree on certain things. And people have noted that I will have one position, she might have another, but I will respect her decision regardless. She doesn't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with her. But I tell you what, Veda has been nothing but sweet, nothing but kind, and nothing but spending a lot of fucking time trying to get to the facts. That's it. And we may get things wrong. Both of us may get things wrong. I may too. It's too. But you know what? We try. We try to have the most correct, updated information. They don't. They rely on misinformation, and that's the difference. It is for show, Alice. I agree with you. I think it is for show. Veda, they didn't hear any of that. It's okay. Veda, I love you. It's okay.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I lost connection. I was trying to get back.
Did you hear any of that? I was actually being nice.
You're going to kill me. I heard you said the only thing I've ever tagged her in was a community post or something like that. That's all I heard.
No, I was saying that basically, we don't have a group think, and that we're definitely, we look at things from different perspectives. We don't all have to agree, but we all have a place of honesty that we want to get to the truth, period. And that's something that they don't have. They just don't have.
Well, what can we do? What can we do, like seriously do, to get people to see things?
I wish I had a simple answer. Brandon, do you have an idea?
Expose the bullshit. That's all I can think of.
But we do that. I mean, look. You know what's so funny? It's weird that the bullshit that's exposed has been so organic. Look at what happened to Unirock. That was not planned. That was organic, obviously. It was Unirock overextending his fuckery.
Well, they succeed because they plan their streams together. Whatever nonsense talks about for the day, they know that they're going to head right over to Unirock, and he's going to bounce off her. We need to plan our streams around each other. I think that would work.
All right, I'm okay with that. Again, I mean, I don't want to have the people going, oh, that it's a narrative type thing, right? Oh, the coordinator narrative. No,
I mean with the evidence and everything. They don't show that part. We can.
I agree. So there's a little bit of difference there. Yeah. Stick with the good fight, Misty says. But also take notice of the people who are not willing to have a conversation. This is what I think is funny, because like Queen Bee has a very open panel, and I get what.
Not for me, she didn't.
Well, you went in a little hot and heavy, and I can see why they had some issues. Well, you went on the live chat. You didn't go on the panel itself. You went on the live chat, and I can see there's a problem there. And look, it is what it is. But when I went on panel, she was very fair to me, and she will allow anybody to have a conversation. But there's a lot of fuckery she doesn't want to deal with, and I understand that. So the stuff going on with Nonsense and Katie Joy, yeah, that's not their fight. They don't want to know about it, and I understand that. But they do want to know about the Unirock stuff, and if that's all they want to know about, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's still one of the three Unholy Trinity. That if it comes out that Unirock is lying, well, obviously the fact that they're sharing narratives between each other, between Nonsense and Katie Joy, it rubs on them as well, right? It bleeds over. So that's my take.
It's all going to be good. I'm going to do for everybody wondering about that, I'm going to do my stream tomorrow, responding to that. It'll be that, and I'm doing a uni class where I pretty much show like his personality traits versus his behaviors, and just kind of give people insight to how he really is, because he has this goofy kind of personality on camera, like a showman, like he's acting. That's not who he is.
Unirock, oh yeah, this is a character that he's become.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. That's a character he's become.
I'm absolutely okay with someone being an entertainer, but like, just don't be a fucking dickhead while you're doing it.
Well, don't be somebody who makes a living harming other people by putting out misinformation about them. I mean, that's again the whole crux of this, is that this Unholy Trinity they're just kingpins of misinformation. This is exactly their whole shtick. And so, if Veda puts out information about Unirock of how he goes about doing this, it applies to all three of them equally. Same thing in this stream. It applies to all three of them equally. I just wish people would ask more questions. I feel like they're not asking questions because they already know the answers to them, and I get that. But I want people.
That your thumbnail kind of. I think that we have to word your description in your thumbnail more bullet point on, like, all subscribers, please, come ask us all the hard questions, or just sort of like a straight to the point invitation, maybe.
Yeah, and that's what this is. And by the way, it extends well past this particular video. If you got questions, DM me, email me, leave a comment, whatever it is. Ask us questions, because we have the evidence that these people are fucking lying. It's not a matter of just he said, she said. They make a claim. One, they don't provide evidence for their claim, and two, we can show their claim is wrong. We don't need to, because evidence given without, claims that are submitted without evidence could be dismissed without evidence, Hitchens razor, if you so choose to do so. But I don't even want to do that. I want to show you that they're fucking lying. Like, nonsense is fucking lying. Where's the receipts that I've ever sent her something? Go ahead. Where are they? Where's the receipts I sent out anything?
I kind of hope they find it.
So yeah, that's what I want people to ask those kind of questions. Because I do think questions and evidence are going to be the downfall of those three, and their own narcissistic want for narcissistic supply, that they're always upping themselves, right? They're always trying to get to the next fix. They're always trying to go higher to get that narcissistic high. And so this is what happened to Unirock. He got higher and higher, and he bullshitted the Queen Bee and all her subscribers over there, and they said fuck you. They didn't put up with that bullshit, and that I think that's
like insulting to people like me that it busted my balls for 12 years being a stand-up comedian as an entertainer. Like what the fuck do you people have to offer?
Well, yeah. Again, though, there's nothing wrong with harsh comedy, but they're not just entertainers. They're harmful disinformation people that will go out of their way to lie about people for views.
It's mean-spirited.
It's even worse than that.
I do crowd work, and I'll fuck with them, but it's not I don't mean to hurt anybody.
Yeah, they do. Matter of fact, look, I'll give you an example real quick. Katie Joy, mean-spirited. Just recently, she had the cruelty. Look, you can hate Molly Golightly. You may not be a fan of hers. I don't watch her stuff. But she did lose her mother, and Katie Joy waited till Mother's Day to fucking just put that knife in and twist it, and she admitted to it. She's like, "Yeah, I wanted, it's like, how fucking much of a sadist are you? Fuck me. That blew my mind that she was proud of that. That she's like, and she lied about it. She's like, I didn't know Molly Golightly lost her channel. Who the fuck didn't know that Molly Golightly lost her channel when Katie Joy and her, one of the two sparring people, they're competitors, so to speak, in certain types of things on reality TV. Of course she knew the minute Molly Golightly lost her channel. And then she's like, I just found out yesterday, 2 months after the fact, I just found out yesterday that she lost her channel. Happy Mother's Day, knowing her mom passed. That's some fucking sadist shit.
Luckily, Molly didn't get it till the next day when I sent it to her. I refused to send it on Mother's Day. I was not going to send her that. And she told me that Katie Joy better take that down because that's absolutely a lie, and she needs to delete that.
She won't.
Because that's defaming.
She won't.
Well,
she won't. No, she gets off on that kind of sadistic twisting of the knife. She loves it. Katie Joy is one of the most sadistical bitches I've ever met in my entire fucking life.
God, no, I hate her.
Unirock actually supporting a criminal.
She's Unirock supporting what?
A criminal Kyle, supporting Kyle throughout the bullshit with the non-sex show.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I supported Kyle too when he was a criminal, only because he was my partner. But as soon as he started lying, that's when it was over, right? This is my breaking point. As soon as somebody puts out misinformation, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be around this. What happened with Unirock? He was putting out misinformation. So anyways, I guess I'll wrap it up. I think we kind of put out what we wanted to put out. I wish the live chat probably would have more questions, but I get why they don't. They've been through all of this, and they don't have a lot of people coming from other communities asking about this stuff. But when they do, just show them this video. That's it. You don't need to spend hours and hours defending things that have already been defended. We all know that Unirock nonsense and Katie Joy will go out of their way to lie about people. Let's just prevent it from happening to another group. That's all we can really do, and go on from there. But I'll leave you guys with you guys. You guys have the last word.
Yeah. You have a good night. I think you put a good exclamation points on these issues.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Brandon.
Okay.
Yep. Cool.
Let Veda have the last word. So, Brandon, what do you want to say? Brandon, anything?
No, just let Lena talk. I
Okay.
don't have anything.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for all your support too. And Veda, have the last word, please. And we'll
Okay, I just wanted to let you know about 3:00 tomorrow. I'm going to be doing my response to Queen Bee, and I'm going to be doing a uni class and nonsense class and showing some examples of the characteristics traits that I've given them and why I have given it to them. So you definitely don't want to because a lot of people ask me, did I put that community post up on? Yes, I put that community post on purpose. I know what I'm doing. Trust that.
All right, and
Well, yeah.
and let me point.
I'll view and subscribe.
And let me point that out. Veda's thing with Queen Bee is her own deal. She's a big girl. It's not spilling over to me. I had no issue with Queen
Nothing
Bee.
to do with Steve and Erin at all.
Yeah, nothing to do with us whatsoever. So just to make sure the Hive knows, I have nothing to do with that over there. That's Veda's thing. And look, she's a big girl, but she's also a big girl that can defend herself and talk about what she wants to talk about. We don't have that Hive mentality. Like I said, we don't have, and I'm not saying the Hive. I probably shouldn't have used that terminology with the Queen.
Yeah, speak for yourself, Steve.
I should have used that terminology. We don't have groupthink like the Uni Rocks, the Uni Rach, the Katie Joyce nonsense. We don't have the groupthink that they have, and so that's I think it's really important.
Let's just say I dropped a little bait and somebody bit, so it worked. It worked right in my favor. So it'll be out tomorrow.
You do you, Veda, okay? But I appreciate that you recognizing that is your shtick. It has nothing to do with me.
That's how it's play the game or get played.
Yeah, do your thing, man. All right, thanks for guys for watching. I appreciate it all. Seriously, this was cathartic, and I think that this is something we should probably do at least maybe once or twice a year. Just to see.
I think we should do it once or twice, like every 2 weeks, because I've enjoyed the last one and this one.
That would be too much. Maybe once a month. Mm-hmm. I was doing that on the Great Debate Community once a month. If you guys want, I tell you what. If you guys like these little community summit meetings, because I do think they're important, I think we get a lot out of them, and it allows us to talk about stuff that's been going on. If you want that once a month, leave me a comment in the video description. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, let us know because I like it.
All right, thank you guys. I'm gonna leave the StreamYards, and I'm gonna end the broadcast. I want to thank you all for joining. Please subscribe, especially if you want to be part of the live chat. You have to subscribe because I have subscribers only. And if you want to become a member of the channel, I appreciate that immensely. If you want to become a Patreon, I appreciate it immensely as well.
Thank you for all the viewers that we do have.
Yeah, every one of them. And I do want to put a special shout out to my mods, Autistic, Shill, Misty, and Megan tonight. Thank you for all three that you do. I know you volunteer a lot of your time for a lot of people, and don't think it's not lost upon us, because we do appreciate your modding for us. Okay, and good night.
Absolutely.
Good night, guys.